also. Hey, what's going on, guys? So sorry about that. Having a little bit of technical difficulties, but I think, actually, I don't know why. I have no idea why. I don't know what's going on. The audio just decided it's not gonna work. And so, you know what? Yeah, my voice sounds great. It's fantastic. But the problem is I have music that plays at the beginning of my show. Well, right now, for some odd dumb reason, I have no music. I don't know why, but I have none. It's here, it shows that it's playing. It shows that everything is working great. Yeah, Wara, he was supposed to be on today. I made the mention that every third and fifth Wednesday, I was going to try to have Will on, keep kind of him in the rotation and all of that, because I know the community loves him, and when him and I do shows together, they're really good and stuff like that. But he had some personal stuff that he had to take care of, so I, man, wish him all the best. Hopefully, we can get him on November the. I just looked at it earlier. Why is it leaving me? November the 20th. So that might be a hard week to get him on because it is right before Christmas, or Christmas. Jeez, it's right before Thanksgiving. But yeah, he just had some personal stuff he's taking care of. So yeah, wish him all the best without saying much else because it's his business, not mine. So, anyways, yes, let's keep going. So yeah, sorry, the whole music thing threw me off. This is the point in the show where I kind of let the chat go nuts. Y'all talk amongst yourself, hit all the emojis, hit the like button, share it out, do all of that. I then come behind, pause, and I try to share it out, and I try to kind of get everything loaded up and all of that. So go ahead, just bear with me just real quick. You might hear some typing in the background and all of that stuff. No big deal. Nothing's happening. The Wizard of Oz is not doing anything to Dorothy or Toto or any of that. You see and hear nothing. Pretend you're an Xbox fan and you see and hear nothing. And you'll be just fine. You'll be just fine. Let's go. Hey, Cosmic Hero 250, member of 2 months. Let's go, peeps. Get hyped. See, that's the other thing. Like, the music gets you hyped. It gets you up there. It gets you all of those things. Oh, man. Oh, I can set a goal. I don't know what kind of goal I would set because the community is lovingly taken care of, and so I don't really know what else we can do. At this point, I'm going to have to play myself into oblivion to make up some of these goals that Steven and RPG and a few others have helped us hit. So yeah, all right, guys. So tonight, we do have a great show. We have a fantastic lineup. Back by popular demand, we do have Cosmic Hero 270. He will be coming on here in just a second. Let me go over some of the topics. This is definitely one of them, but it's not the main one. It's just the screen that I left it on. So anyways, we got some cool stuff going on here with Black Myth Wukong, and then here we go. We have an update from PlayStation Studios that we'll be discussing. Hey, 'tis the season right before Christmas, and we get companies that are shitty. But let's see. Let's see how bad they are. We will be discussing Dragon Age, the Veilguard, within review codes. I love it when video games do this. I love it when game companies do this because it tells me that they are not confident in their product. So we will be discussing that tonight. I'm very interested to talk about that. Oh, the real Innate got hit by RPG 88. Oh my goodness, we are starting it off tonight. Guys, I'm super hyped about tonight's show. Plus, I mainlined a Red Bull earlier, so I am geeked out. It's great. Next, we got Activision Blizzard dev team walks out in protest because they have to return to office. And honestly, they have a damn good point. And I'm going to go over that because I love the way that they have framed themselves in this, the dev team, not Activision Blizzard. And so we're going to discuss that. Satya Nadella, they fired 55,000 million fucking employees, and the dude gets a raise. This is what we're going to talk about tonight. This is what we're going to talk about tonight. Dude gets a raise, and not a small one either. So we are going to discuss that tonight. We got some topics over Janky Jones. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is another name for it, lovingly known in this community and so many others like the Gaming Grindhouse. As Janky Jones, we are going to see how this poor damn title, has been set up for utter failure. Yes, the QA part of the dev team, yes. And we're gonna talk about why they have a really good point. No, I think he makes. I don't know. We'll get into the article, RPG. Let me go back real quick. No, he's going to $71.24 million. Why do you? What the fuck do you need that? Anyways, not trying to shit on anybody else's wallet, but Lord Jesus. Okay. Then we will be discussing Call of Duty Black Ops 6 UK physical sales drop in shift to Game Pass. Also, on that, we will be discussing, in this article, we will be looking at PlayStation and how much it accounted for. I thought that Call of Duty going to Xbox was supposed to lower PlayStation sales of Call of Duty. Well, yeah, shit, we'll discuss it. Then we do have some pretty cool stuff. We have the reasons why right here. Zubitech. Shout out to Zubitech. Shout out to Zubitech. Go follow him always, forever. Dude's awesome. He has given us the reason, and I have it to where I can't see more right now because I don't want to give it away yet. Holy shice bot nanu. If you're old like me, you know exactly what that's from because you watched that show with your dad at night on Nick at Night. Anyways, Stephen Leon gifted 5 members. Hinzu got pegged. El Nini. Oh, that came out wrong. Hinzu got hit with the gifted. Chocolate Dream Stream. Hey, that was my nickname in high school. El Nini, Hero Down Under, J942, Zilla Nation. Oh my goodness, it was a 5-bomb. And yes, Morgan Mindy. What is up, Lord? Hey, Zand. That's awesome. Hey, guys, LOTR Loreman is one of the dudes that I play Magic the Gathering with over Spell Table. Awesome freaking individual. Awesome individual. Yes, it was Mork and Mindy. Okay, so I'm keeping this hidden right now because we have found out the secret sauce. If you're part of the Discord, you might have already clicked on this link. You might have already looked at it. If you follow Zuby on here, you might have already seen it. But we have the secret sauce as to why Microsoft is getting out of the console business. And guys, it's a shocker. I can't believe it. Also, if we have time, we are going to be discussing some of the PS5 Pro, some of the things that Nexon developer has said about it, just kind of discussing what we can expect from it as the console is a few short days away from people having it. Then, oh my god, guys, we have so much. Then, PlayStation's Wolverine creative director is now leading Xbox's Perfect Dark. We're going to get into this if we have time. Literally, Nelson Gaming 12. Shout out to him. Shout out to his channel, NGC, Nelson Gaming Culture. Go check that out. Shout out to that dude. He put this in our Discord earlier. Literally like an hour ago. And so, I haven't fully been able to think through this, but we could give some initial raw thoughts. Then we will be discussing the Black Myth Wukong thing. Apparently it did so well and it somehow secured a deal for PlayStation. So that's kind of cool. And then that's just Project Latitude because the whole damn slate is coming. Cosmic Hero! Oh, my hero. Here's $5 for the better audio purchase in Black Ops 6. I get my own profile. I get my own profile. Yay! Anyways, all right, guys. So, with all of that being said, for the love of God, hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. We do stupid stuff like this every week, and it's a blast. Also, you can join the Discord in the link in the description. It is a forever link. We talk about video games, gaming news, and even real life. Holy shit. $20 from Steven Leon. Here's more for a better system. So, what's really funny, Steven, is if everything keeps going the way it is with the channel, it's actually going to accelerate my timeline on getting a PS5 Pro from April, May of next year to December, January. So, like, I'm baffled. It's crazy. This is... I don't... Y'all don't have to do this. I appreciate it and I love it, and yes, I like making money talking about video games, and I'm so pleased that the community pours out this love, and like, you have been one of the guys who has been here for a long time, so I super appreciate it. And now I'm waffling on, and as we know, waffling is bad. I'm gonna continue. Okay. Shit, dude. Thank you. Wow. Okay. Yes. So do all of those things. Also, Cosmic Hero. His links are in the description below. If you like what you hear tonight, dude, we are trying to convince this guy to start a YouTube channel. He has it. He has everything laid out. Just no content yet. But he is working on that. And it's just going to be more of what you hear tonight. Dude has some really solid takes when it comes to the gaming industry. Really love having him on. Gonna promote his channel like crazy when he's on. So, all of that is in the link below. Also, my wife has homemade, handmade, all the made soaps. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. You can go to roundaboutsoapery.com. Then you go to shop soaps. And then you can see all her lovely, lovely soaps. She has her fall ones up here on the top. She has these down here below. This one is actually one that I just finished up. It's called Cool Sea. It smells amazing, and it's great. Anyways, she has Rustic Lodge, which is a fan favorite. She has a Forest Chill. That is a forever scent that we keep, as well as Thimbleberry for the ladies. Awesome, awesome stuff here. She has a couple unscenteds. So yeah. Check those out. The vanilla bean smells amazing. Does she have Asian-made soaps? No, she doesn't. But yeah, guys, go ahead and check that out. And with all of that gilding, and nobody named Lily, I would like to welcome y'all to the playground. Hit the freaking like button. Let's get started. Cosmic Hero, how in the freaking world are you, my guy?
I'm fantastic, Thrifty. I'm super grateful to be here with these lovely, lovely people. Oh my God, hold on, holy shit, Thrifty, you might want to see what Steven Leon just did.
I see it.
Steven, what do you do for a living, man? Like, are you selling like the good shit to like everyone around the world? Holy
Steven
shit.
Leon with the $100 super chat. Here is more for the pro. I'm getting 2. One for me and one for my sons. Friends don't let friends not get a pro.
This dude must be like a stockbroker or some shit. Like, he's got to be like some top level executive.
He must sell. Josh said he must sell kidneys. Oh my God, I'm actually tearing. Okay, so. Oh shit. Cosmic.
That's too funny.
Cosmic, take over for a second. What have you been playing right now, dude? What game are you playing?
Give me a second.
Yeah,
God damn it, Josh. It's always Josh. He comes out of nowhere with these. What I've been playing lately, I've been playing the Silent Hill 2 remake. I've been loving the hell out of that game. I got my physical edition of Sonic Shadow Generations, which I've been playing through. Very nostalgic for me, considering that is a game that I did grow up with all the way back on the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 days.
And what game is
God,
it?
it's been Sonic Shadow Generations. So they added Shadow as a playable character with some of his backstory. You understand where he gets his powers from. Like, you understand his complete origin story.
And the game is a
So,
blend, right? Like it's a blend of like Sonic Forces, Sonic Frontiers, regular 2D Sonic. Is it like a blend of
well,
all of them?
no. So Generations came before all of that. This was like years ago. This was 2011.
Oh, so this wasn't like a
So
full-blown remake.
no. This was a remaster. They added more content to.
Gotcha.
Um,
Okay.
they wanted to make a Shadow game, but they realized they didn't have enough time because the movie is literally right around the corner. Like, we've got like 2 months before the movie comes out, so they didn't have enough time to make their own game. So they did this instead, and I love that portion of the game. It's really fun. Shadow has a lot of unique abilities. He has the ability, like, he's got like Doom wings, and he, like Chaos spears, and he can, he's got this like Doom surfing. They're all called Doom because there's an alien that his DNA gets used in Shadow, and it's a whole backstory. You'd have to play the game to understand. I don't want to waste time explaining the whole thing, but what else have I been playing? Still going through my Final Fantasy adventures. I'm the tail end of 5. I'll be starting 6 then. And I have my physical edition of the Pixel remasters on the way, so I'm excited for that.
Give me just a sec.
And
Hero Down Under with the Australian $30.99. Here's a small assist to push you to the Pro in November. My goodness, guys, I didn't. Thank you. Thank
Look
you.
at- this is a
Thank you.
parody
Thank
stream.
you. I did not say that I appreciate it, but like.
Thrifty, you're telling them
I know.
don't do it. They're gonna do it.
That's not the reason I'm telling him not to do it, but you are right. Nobody listens to me anyways. Hell, like, nobody listens to me anyways. That's why I have to make sure my guests are always good, because people come here just for y'all. It's great. Also, okay, so you're getting the Pixel Remaster physical. I have them physical. They're loaded. Still
Yes.
haven't touched them yet because of reasons. But go ahead.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to the Pro. Probably won't get it launch day, but once I get a little bit more money together, I'll have that Pro with me. I have a nice monitor that I have coming in the mail that's going to be able to take advantage of the Pro. So I'm excited. I'm very much looking forward to see what next year holds for us. I'm pretty sure we may get into that, if not, but I'm very much looking forward to next year's titles. Next year's going to be jam-packed. Like, I thought this year was jam-packed. The next year's going to say, like, hold my beer. Like, it's going to be insane. But yeah, I'm really excited, really blessed to be here. I'm really happy to be here. So let's get to these topics.
Yes, let's. Guys, I do have a review out of the most recent game that I've been playing. It is a Metroidvania. I am actually I'm kind of sweet on the game, guys. It's an 8 out of 10. It's if you like Metroidvanias, 6.5 if you don't. But I think for the Metroidvania audience, y'all should go check it out. Check out the review if you're on the fence. It is Awaken Astral Blade. And so, yeah, just go check that out. That's what I've been playing. You can hear all of my thoughts on that. But, dude, you are absolutely right. Let's get into some of these flippin' topics. Hero Down Under, remain blessed. Good job, bro. Yep. Focus on topics, guys. Focus. We are friends. Yeah, no shit. Indiana Jones first person is a bad mistake. Plus, they look bland in gameplay. We're gonna, you know what? Let's start with some bullshit.
We're gonna jump right to this. I had a feeling we were gonna jump right to this.
I wasn't gonna. I was actually gonna start with Sony, but this will be much more fun. And so yeah, let's go ahead and, guys, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. This is going to be a blast. Let's go. Okay, so
let's go, baby.
Basically, Yes, Goku, you hit it on the head. Indiana Jones first person is a bad mistake, and plus the game looks or bland gameplay. Abso-freaking-lutely. And I have a reason why.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me get my browser back up because I hope I didn't accidentally close down my browser. That would be stupid. There it is. Okay. That was weird. I don't know where it went. All right, so here might be the reason. Might. Okay? Why it looks trashy, why it looks janky, why it looks god freaking awful. Here's why. Okay? Hope everybody's listening. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is targeting 60 FPS for both Xbox Series X and in big, bold, all cap letters, because even GameRanks knows how big of a bullshit statement this is, and the Xbox Series S. It looks like Microsoft has made Xbox Series S FPS or 60 FPS mandated. Ouch! Machine Games creative director Axel Treviris has raised the bar for what Xbox Series owners or console owners can expect from Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Speaking to Windows Central, he made this statement. When it came to technical performance, it might be that we will release even more details in terms of specifics, I fucking hope so, technical details as we get closer to launch. Once we will see all the telemetry on performance. But what I can tell you is that the ambition is that the game runs at 60 FPS on Series X and Series S, and that, you know it, shouldn't be compromised in the visual experience of the product. Okay, so we're going to stop. And then he says something that I absolutely agree with. He says it should feel cohesive and run smoothly at 60, and he could have stopped right there. But he says on both. I agree with games that are at 60, they should feel cohesive and run smoothly. They really should. As a matter of fact, in my most recent review, that was one of the things that I harped at is the frame pacing, like while switching screens, just bugs the shit out of me. I hate that judder and stutter. And judder and stutter, that's the name of my next song. All right, so, but it'll be a smash hit. But what I can tell you is the ambition is that the game runs at 60 FPS on Series X and S. Shouldn't be compromised. Okay. Two things. Josh, don't beat me to it. Second, first thing, they have this ambition. So it's going to be a target. It's going to be, hey, this is our goal. Mind you, the game comes out in what, a month? Comes out
December.
December 10th, is it? December 11th?
December is like the dead man's land of game releases.
Yeah, it's so terrible.
Because, like, all the kids and all the adults get all the games they want for Christmas, and no one's paying for anything.
Yeah, and
so... That's at least in my experience.
Here we go. Great Circle release at December 9th. I was close. Damn it, I was so close. Okay, so December 9th, this game is supposed to be coming out. And they are saying that, hey, we might release some information on it. We might show some extra stuff. But the ambition is that we're at 60 FPS on Series X and Series S, and that, it shouldn't be compromised in the visuals or the experience of the product. So that's the second part. How do you not compromise it on both systems? Well, you develop the game for the Series S to run on the Series S at 60 FPS, and then it just gets boosted when it goes to the Series X.
Booster.
They turn the Series X console into the booster. And that's also why the game looks janky as shit. They're telling it, hey, listen, we wanted it 60 FPS. We realized that PlayStation's been whipping our ass. We have done all the research, and we have found from the developers that they like their games to run at 60 FPS. Who'da thunk? And that was the biggest thing. They said PlayStation just gives us 60 FPS. They give us frames per second. What do you give us? You give us Redfall. You give us the Series Potato. And they're like, wait. What if we can show you how to make it 60 FPS? What if I told you we had a game, a smash hit IP, an IP known around the globe, and we're going to make a game out of it, and it's going to be 60 FPS? Oh, yeah? Yeah. How are you going to do that? Well, it's going to look like shit. That's how. It's going to look like you're playing a VR game, but it's not a VR game.
Not even that.
So
It'll look like a late Xbox 360 ported to Xbox One game.
But that's okay, Cosmic. That's okay because gameplay is king. And if it's buttery smooth, woo, it's buttery smooth. But gameplay is king. So in this fictitious conversation that I'm having with the developer at Xbox, Studios. So Mr. Xbox Studio guys, so that means like the game is going to be like it's going to be amazing, right? It's going to like have this amazing gameplay loop. It's going to be this groundbreaking, innovative thing where y'all put so much time into the mechanics of the game. This IP, Indiana Jones, it's known for like these big action set pieces and these big, huge moments in it where everybody's kind of running and you have things chasing you and bullets flying everywhere and great escapes. You're going to have all of that. No. No, it's going to be a middle of the road, fairly basic stealth game. Oh. Uh, oh. So it looks like shit. It's middle of the road stealth, and it's an. Wait, you said Indiana Jones? It's an IP from 60 years ago? Oh, wait. And I don't think Indiana Jones was from 60 years ago, but you get my drift. Hell, it might have been.
Indiana Jones was the 80s.
That's fuck. That's 40 years ago. Same difference. Like, what
So,
are you?
sorry, didn't mean to age you, but
Yeah, that was like a
that
shot,
was
bro. Like you just shot me
that was
dead.
A punch.
You were just, I just took one to the chin on that one. That was like, jeez, wow. Yeah, that is old.
Tango down. Tango down.
Young bastards. Anyone else catch that
Sorry.
moan from Thrifty? Metro
sorry.
Awakening, right. Don't insult. I'm sorry, Corey. You are absolutely right. I shouldn't insult VR games by saying that Janky Jones looks like them, because it doesn't. It looks way worse. It looks so bad. But that's why, guys. Once again, when you have to develop for the lowest common denominator, your stuff looks like shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's Cosmic. What do you think, man? Like, because we had these two articles kind of close together, and so am I reading too much into this, or like, can you at least see like my thought process here, my lines on the chalkboard, as it were?
I definitely see the lines on the chalkboard.
Snort them. It's just chalk.
Yeah, yeah, it's just chalk. It's just chalk. No, I definitely see where you're coming from, Thrifty, because okay, so they touted this game like when they first announced this. Oh, this is Xbox's answer to Uncharted. So it's not an original IP. It's an IP that has existed for a very long time. I did not mean to age anybody by saying the 1980s. But it's an IP that's been around for a long time. But it's also an IP that really hasn't like been like setting the world on fire. Like, when was the last good Indiana Jones anything? I mean, it can't be Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or the what was it, The Great Compass or some shit that was the latest movie. Those movies were horrible. So, again, this just kind of invigorates that, yeah, Indiana Jones is not really that big of a franchise, but to go back to the 60 frames per second, like, that game is going to look so washed and so, like, unpolished that it, like, yeah, you can get a game running 60 FPS on the Series S if it looks like some kid in Roblox made the game. But I I just see this as, the developers holding themselves back for no good reason. Like, Microsoft created this potato of a console. Phil Spencer, Farmer Phil, homegrown it in his backyard, said, this looks like a good idea. Let's sell this to the masses. And they thought this was going to sell. And to be fair, it is. It makes up a majority of the Xbox Series sales in general. So, but at the same time, this console has under-delivered from day one. From day one, developers were speaking out against this console and said this console is a pain in the ass. They don't want it, but yet Microsoft forces them because there's this parity clause in these contracts that they sign. That's the reason why that, Black Myth Wukong isn't coming. That's the reason why, they didn't get Final Fantasy anything. It was the reason why they didn't get a lot of games because, excuse me, developers are contractually obligated to prioritize both consoles. And when you have a console that people don't like and they hate developing for it, it just they skip out on it. They either skip the Series S or they skip Xbox entirely. But Indiana Jones being 60 FPS doesn't really help its case because it's, from what we're hearing, people played 3 hours of this game and it's a basic stealth game. Like, and when Jez was going over some of the footage, the game looks so stiff. It looks so stiff.
Yeah,
it's like some of the most stiffest punches. The whip doesn't look like it's an actual whip. It looks like it just attaches to people and then it just pulls them towards indie. Like, it looks so. I don't know if this was a rushed project or if this is some sort of easy cash grab from Microsoft and Disney. I have a feeling I know why they made a PS5 port, because Disney was probably saying, hey, we need to make some money back on this game. That was probably what it was. But I just see this game just coming and going. And people by next year probably won't even remember it. Well, they'll remember it when it comes to PlayStation 5, but within that time frame, people are going to be like, Indiana who? The Great Circle of what? And that's just what I see here through this article is just that, yes, you want the game to be consistent. You want 60 frames per second. This is what customers want. This is what consumers want. That's understandable. But at the same time, when you are sacrificing the performance of the fidelity and the visuals of the game and the overall look of the game, and you're sacrificing it for this potato of a console, that's a problem. That's a really big problem.
Right. So here's part of my issue also, and it's not just with games like Indiana Jones. It's not just with Indiana Jones and the jank and the bullshit that Microsoft keeps trying to sell to people and all of that. That is definitely a part of it. And I had somebody on X who was like, dude, why are you so upset about what a big company does with their money? It's their money, not yours. You shouldn't care. That is yes, and at the same time, no. We are consumers. We have at the end of the day, what the Dallas Cowboys do with their team is their business. I can still look into that as a fan, as somebody who has bought memorabilia, as somebody who has been a part of the franchise, as somebody who has free marketing for the franchise. That's what a fan is. You're just free marketing for the franchise. I am able to look into those situations and go, that's stupid, that's dumb, you're an idiot for doing that. I am able to make those criticisms because that's my team. That's one of my hobbies. That's one of my pastimes. One of the things I'm invested in. It's why I can talk shit about Magic the Gathering, Hasbro, and Wizards of the Coast. I am able to do that. And you should do that if it's something that you are passionate about, like a hobby. So video games for me, I am passionate about them, and I want to see gamers get the best. And where this ties into Indiana Jones and games like it, they could have taken this game and made it a smaller title, Start
Mm-hmm.
off with something animation based, right? Wara's always talking about you don't need to do mocap for everything. They could have done so many different things to bring down the necessary draw and the necessary power need for this game. They could
Mm-hmm.
have. But instead, they wanted to go movie game. And because of the Series S, they
Mm-hmm.
can't go full movie game.
Nope.
They're it's like a bull that's being castrated. Their junk is tied and they can't do anything about it. Like, you want to go all the way and you can't because you are bound by the Series S. Why is it that every freaking movie PlayStation game that comes out looks absolutely stellar and amazing? Well, it's because they've designed it for one damn platform and one platform only. And that platform happens to be the most powerful at this current time. Not the most powerful. That's a lie. The Xbox is the most powerful. It happens to be the most efficient at this time. And so, because of that, they can take their games to the max. Also, we're getting a Pro here in a week and a half, 7
Mm-hmm.
days. It's either 7 or 4, and I can't remember because I'm not getting it day one, so I cannot remember if it's the 4th or the 7th. But like, they are being held back so bad, and PlayStation is just soaring and just leaping ahead of them right now. And that has led, honestly, to. It's honestly leading me to side more with Wara than I ever thought I would on this because I love mocap.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, if you are going to do mocap and all of these realistic graphics and try to do all of that, but you don't have the ability, the budget, or the console to make those things a reality, then don't do that. Like, I understand pushing the envelope, but if Janky Jones is what you call pushing the envelope, then you might as well just seal that bitch back up and mail it down somewhere because
Mm-hmm.
it ain't nothing good coming from that. But
No.
that's just my thought. I think that if they wouldn't be constrained by the Series S, it would have come out more along the lines of an Uncharted title. Look,
Oh,
feel,
definitely.
graphical quality. Because here's the deal, man. The Series X is a damn good box.
Yes, it is. It is.
It's
But
just, yeah.
it's the ignored red-headed stepchild of the console family. It's just like you made this box very powerful, 12 T-flops of power and all this other kind of stuff. You've got, all this stuff in it, and you don't use it because the little brother is now holding back the big brother who could take on the PlayStation 5. But yet, because mom and dad, want you two to be equal, now you're being held back. The console's being held back. And I feel as though that hurts a lot of these developers. I feel as though that's why so many of Xbox's developers took so many years to make these games, was because they have to prioritize both systems, and the fact that they've got to be on PC, and the fact they've got to be on xCloud, and the fact that they've got to basically be everywhere day one. That doesn't help. I think them adding PlayStation to that speeds that up a little bit, basically. But I also believe that Indiana Jones being first person doesn't help its case either.
I don't think it does.
I feel because the game switches, like, there are moments in the trailers and the gameplay where it switches the third person and then you're back to first person. And I'm like, you guys couldn't make up your mind. Like, if I was an Indiana Jones developer, I would want third person, have Indy be able to fight with, swords, or fight with, the whip, and be able to use the whip in different ways to set
Pause.
traps, or to be able to, you know, grapple enemies and everything else, and to have his iconic pistol and everything else, but they chose first person, and they chose him to basically punch out his way through the entire game. He's constantly punching people. He uses the whip and then he uppercuts a guy.
Right.
And then it's just like, okay, the guy's down. Or hell, he throws a rock at some guy and he falls to the ground. Like, I don't feel like this is really stealthy. I feel like this is just kind of just sneaking around, trying not to get caught. Like, this isn't really like stealth. To me, there's a difference between stealth and then you just kind of just sneaking around so you don't get caught. And I just feel as though that's what, Indiana Jones is. I feel as though this game was rushed. A part of me feels like it was rushed.
Man, I'll be honest. I would have been way more interested in this title if it was a Metroidvania style, like exploring the pyramids or something. Like, to me, that would have been much better, and each pyramid was its own, like, individual biome or whatnot, and I don't know. But this game is... It does feel bad a bit because these games are always held to such high standards when Xbox releases a new single-player, full-blown, game. Or not single-player, but like a first-party game. They are always held to such high standards. And because of that, they always have a long way to fall, and they have a ton of additional scrutiny on them. Here's the deal. Is it bad necessarily if it's just your run-of-the-mill stealth game? No. Not to people who like those. Not at all. Like, shit, I use the example all the time. There is a market for Cat Quest 3. So, like, I can't be surprised when a game in a genre that I don't necessarily like does well. It just shouldn't surprise me. There's a market for everything. Like, there was a game last month on PlayStation Plus, Doki Doki Literature Club, and Josh has been telling us to play that game forever. It's a novel. It's what it is. But like, there is a game for everybody. The problem is that this game needs to be the game that everybody buys or plays or talks about. It needs to be that home run. And not because, like, that's what the developers say or that's what Microsoft even internally says, but because that's what the fans are latching onto. We got Indiana Jones. It's coming. It's coming. You know the jokes. Like, they're all there. It's coming. Yes. Cool. It's getting here. It's going to be at the end of the year. Look at what they did. We're so awesome. This is going to be so great. And then the trailer plays and you're like, God, the more they show of this game, the more I don't want them to show anymore. Like, and so I think part of it's unfair. I think Starfield did get kind of an unfair shake. I think that because these aren't meant to be saviors of Xbox. And
no, these were third-party titles that got bought by Microsoft, and then they were in the middle of development, and then Microsoft said, cancel the PlayStation 5 version, just focus on Xbox. And then, while yes, that helped the developers so they could focus on one platform, it really kind of limited, because we know that Starfield would have sold on PlayStation. For as janky and as broken as it was,
it still will.
It still will. Like, even when they eventually bring it to PlayStation, it still will. And I don't want to sit here and shit on Indiana Jones just for the sake of shitting on it, but every time they show the game, I just notice things, and I'm just like, this game looks very, very janky, very rushed. It's not a bad looking game. It's just looks very basic. Like, it's like they literally took a script from a movie and said, this is what we're gonna do. And granted, that's not a bad thing, but like, you would hope there's at least some sort of like a little bit of originality. Yes, the Great Circle and there's a new story and adventure and everything. That yes, that's true, but you know, it's Indiana Jones. Like we're talking about a franchise that, hell, some people I know don't even know who Indiana Jones is. So it's kind of it's going to be really hard for Microsoft to try to sell this game, and the game is not impressive to people who are already in early stages of being able to play it.
Yeah, but you know what? What do we know, right? We're just a couple of Sony ponies who don't know anything about what good games look like or how they're going to play. So, you know, we're getting a little bit
Can
of criticism in the chat that we were
yeah.
probably never going to play this game anyways. And to be quite honest, I expected this game to come to PlayStation along. Actually, I didn't expect this game to come to PlayStation. When it got announced that it was, is when my ears perked up on it. And now that I know it's a basic stealth game, I have no desire whatsoever to touch this title with a 10-foot pole. And that's not because it's an Xbox Studio game. That is because I hate games like that require stealth. It's fucking annoying. I don't do siphon filters. I don't do MGSs. I don't do any of those. I do not like stealth games. I like to go in and beat the crap out of people. Yes, I did. I did. I absolutely know what I gave that game. I'm glad you remember though. That's really cool. So it's possible that we are going to get uh, a wonderful game and it's going to sell millions. It's also possible that you don't need to play a game to know it's going to be shit. It's possible. It's possible. Now,
Mm-hmm.
that does not mean the game cannot be fun. I have had
Mm-hmm.
multiple games that are terrible, awful, had no business being video games that I've had
Mm-hmm.
fun with. Remember, guys, I'm from the days of gaming when if a game had a bug, there wasn't a patch for it. You just did what you could until you hit that bug and the game shut down and you started it back over and did it again. I've played some crappy games and I've had fun with them. But that doesn't mean they're not crappy titles. And a lot of times, left eye and right eye, those two sources of mine, can spot titles that don't smell very good. And speaking of titles that don't smell very good, that is going to take us into our next topic. Dragon Age Veilguard review codes. This was an interesting topic. This was, if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that we crap on journalists quite a bit. Because it seems like the journalists they don't speak with a lot of integrity. That's why, even though I argue with Fornatron right here and he's in the chat calling me this and saying I'm never going to play the game, so why speak on it and all this other stuff, I love his channel, his Awar's channel, Base Game Reviews. Love it. I love the way they approach their reviews. I love the way they do their weekly show on Fridays. Like, it's really, really well done. I love it because they just cover the news. And I like that. I do like what I do also. That's why I do it. That's why it's more of a puff your chest out, play on the playground, talk your shit, and have a good time. But I love it when folks review the game who I can trust. That's why I gravitate a lot of times towards smaller channels. Because I trust their reviews more than others. And by the way, guys, if y'all don't follow Base Game Reviews, go check it out. BASED Game Reviews. Go check them out. They're really good people. Yes, even Fornatron. But so let's discuss this real quick because Dragon Age, the Veilguard, some people weren't given review codes, and I do say some people, 3 that we know of for sure. And let's kind of dive into this because they basically had a preview with the game. A few people said that, hey, this game, it just doesn't feel right. Something's not right with it. They were more critical of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, they didn't get review codes. Now, that's not just weird in and of itself, but these are channels, a couple in specific, who have reviewed most, if not all, of the Dragon Age titles and have been doing this for a long, long time.
Hmm.
Now, we have seen this happen before with hand-picked reviewers. We saw it with Redfall. We saw it with Starfield. We saw
Hmm.
it with. I'm picking on Xbox games right now, but we also saw it with Cyberpunk 2077. We saw it with uh, Jedi Survivor. Like,
Yep.
these games came out, reviews were handpicked, amazing, everything's going great. We're not going to drop the embargo until the day that people get to play the 3-day early access stuff. Like, while they're doing all of this, while they're doing all of this, I'm constantly going, this doesn't pass the smell test. This just something smells off.
Hmm.
Yeah, Nelson, no shit. And they were invited to the preview also. No kidding. What's up, Nelson? No kidding. Oh shit, yeah.
That's weird. That's weird. You get invited to a preview and
And
then you
then don't
don't
get
get
the
the
review
review
code.
code.
Right.
Like
Like
that. That's
that's,
kind of like a. That's a little messed up. Like that. That's kind of like a fu. Like
it should be
yeah,
the reverse, right? Like, we'll give you a review
yeah,
code, but you're not special enough to come to the preview. No,
yeah.
these guys,
You can come to the party, but you can't get the prize.
you can't get the gift, right? It's just crazy.
Yeah.
But like, this to me doesn't pass the smell test. And I listened. I normally don't do this because I like having my own fresh thoughts on the game, or on the topic, rather. Game as well, but on the topic. And I listened to Maddie Plays today. I listened to, not Wolfheart, but the other guy. I listened to him today. And it's very, very concerning as a
Hmm.
as a potential new Dragon Age fan, because
Hmm.
I have like I have record proof that once I saw one of the combat trailers for it, I messaged Wara and was like, "Dude, okay, so like, I love the art style. It looks very much Kingdoms of Amalur, and I think kind of going back in time a bit is like the end thing to do right now. And so that artwork kind of screams that generation. It reminds
Hmm.
me so much of Kingdom of Amalur, like the big boxy figures, the like, it just so much does. The big weapons and all of that just looks straight up Kingdoms of Amalur. But the combat looks so good.
Yes.
And then we hear all of these things. The story is not consistent. The dialogue choices are awful. The dialogue performances and the way everything is cut and clipped and edited together, like,
Hmm.
seems like canned responses with lack of emotion. It seems these are the same damn things I heard about Andromeda. Like, these are all the same things I heard about Andromeda, except the game runs well. Like, there's not a lot of performance issues, bugs, things like that. The game runs
Did
fairly
Andromeda
stable.
did Andromeda have performance
Yes.
issues? I didn't play Mass Effect on Andromeda.
I didn't play Andromeda at release because thankfully I listened to the reviews of it. But you can still play it today. They haven't fixed any of them, and so you can still find the bugs that are in there. It's really fun. You should go hunting. It's great. But that's kind of what it reminds me of. And let's see. Fornatron, Corey, Master Person, who doesn't care about Xbox, he seems to know a lot about them. Yeah, they're part of the gaming industry. That's what we do. Legit follow Microsoft around smelling their farts to make sure they keep stinking. Wow. You can either be nice or really nice. You can't be stern at all. No, nobody likes to be stern. Okay, in favor of no one getting review codes? Absolutely, man. Yes, thank you. F Extra Life, that's right. Thank you, Forna. See, that I appreciate that. That was helpful. I like that. Thank you. But yeah, so when I see stuff like this, it automatically raises a red flag. And we just had a ruling that was, I think, filed and passed to where starting sometime in the near future or in the future, this is really paraphrasing here, so bear with me. You can't give like gifts and tokens to people for their review influence or like to influence the review. So, anyways, all of this is going on at the same time. This game
Hmm.
starts coming out, and now we're hearing all of this negative stuff about it. I was actually kind of sold on the game because of the combat and because I know they do deep lore, I know they do great story, I know they do all of those things. And like I've tried Dragon Age Origins and I've tried Dragon Age Inquisition. I've tried both of them. But the combat was too janky and I didn't like it. This, it looks fast, fluid, fun, amazing. And so, Hero, what do you think, man?
Uh, I mean, I don't really play the Dragon Age games. It's not really a franchise I've ever played like at all. I've never played a single game from this franchise. When they showed off Veilguard for the first time, I thought it looked interesting. Because I am, a big fan of Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering, all that kind of stuff, and it looked really interesting. But you know, the gameplay looked great. It looked really great, but when you have a world and you have characters and you have responses that kind of are just the blandest of bland and it's not really that engaging, I kind of just like, well, what's the point of talking to these characters then? Like, there's no point in talking to any of the NPCs or learning anything about the world or the characters, or anything, because from what you're telling me, it's very bland, very poor, very
That was from
bland
Maddie.
writing.
That was from what
Oh,
Maddie
that's from
Plays
a
was
Maddie.
saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so from
I
a
haven't
Maddie.
touched
Well,
a
from
preview.
Maddie.
I haven't got a code
Okay,
for the game.
so
It's just
from what Maddie said, sorry, my mistake. From what Maddie said, it's not really helping me sell the game, and it. I worry because we're in the days of you make one bad game, you get the entire studio shut down. So I wouldn't want this game to fail. It did at least score an 83, so that's good. That's good for them. But to have a lackluster character, NPCs, and storytelling in a game that really is enriched in that kind of stuff is it's kind of not good in my book. That's just my 2 cents. But I don't really want to speak too long on Dragon Age because again, it's a franchise I don't
yeah.
play.
It's always
Um,
with my love of RPGs. It's always been a franchise that's on my radar, and I've always tried it on like deep sale, like couple bucks is what I've paid for these games, used usually at GameStop. Warwana with the $2, the Australian two. Good day, mate. Sony's the worst offender of curated reviews, shaking my head. I might do some research into that and see what the hell's going on with that for next week because I have not seen that, and I haven't seen a lot of reports on it. And I try when I pick Xbox topics that are more negative, I try to find Sony topics that are more negative to keep it balanced. To keep it more, but damn, it was really hard last year. This year, PlayStation's making it pretty easy. We can find dirt to throw on PlayStation real easily. Uh, but yeah, so that's just my thing. Like, it really sucks that these developers and these game companies can do this and have done this. That's
mhm.
I fully agree with what Henry said. Nobody. Just get rid of all of them. Screw it. No, nobody
Yeah,
gets review codes. You got to go
no more
ACG
freebies.
on every single one of these damn things. Like, or you got to go Angry Joe Show on them, where Angry Joe doesn't really get review codes from EA or from I think Ubisoft. I don't think I get review codes from either one anymore. But and it's because they're very critical of a lot of games that come from those publishers. But like, yeah, go back to those. Funded by me, sponsored by me. Let's get into the review. Like, that's ACG's opening for most of his videos. And so I really like that. At least it used to be. I haven't watched a lot of anybody lately, but I just want to get back to that because I did use reviews a lot, and they helped influence my decision on video games a lot. And so I don't know. I've War of One is going to be playing it. I can't wait to see. Yeah, Fornatron, you are absolutely right, dude. He said Concord got all good reviews. Yeah, but it was a crappy game, right? Like it was bad, objectively bad, and like sales bad. It was a bad
Mm,
game. It was terrible. And Sony pulled the plug. And I understood some people had fun with it. I get that. Once again, fun does not mean great. Okay, what's chat doing? Okay, they are having a blast over there. Got it. Cool. So that's pretty much it on BioWare. I could go into some other stuff, but I'm not ready to tackle that, and I don't think y'all are ready to hear it yet. So I'm going to go ahead and back off from the rest of my Dragon Age issues. I might save that for a toss with
that's
Thrifty.
yeah, it's a discussion for another day.
That's going to be a discussion for another day. Let's go over to the Activision Blizzard devs walking out because I actually enjoy this. This is kind of being somebody who
This was
works
interesting.
in a field that doesn't really get to do this. It's
Hmm.
really cool that they're able to. Uh, and it's because our company would just, they say that they would fire us and find new people, but really it's because we can't organize ourselves. But this is kind of cool. Like when you get pushed, when you get prodded, when the boss doesn't make any sense, these guys are finally starting to fight back a little bit. And let's see what's going on. Let me pull this back up. Here we go. So, Activision Blizzard QA devs walk out to protest return to office mandate. And then this is from George Foster from The Gamer. Quality and assurance workers from Activision Blizzard's QA department in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, have organized and performed a walkout to protest the return to office mandate that was announced in January. With recent release Call of Duty Black Ops 6 going much better than most expected, considering how roughly Modern Warfare 3 launched, it should be time for a celebration for Activision Blizzard, especially with how turbulent the past few years have been. While it's certainly a rare win for the studio, that the last year hasn't exactly been a complete win for Activision Blizzard's QA team. Back in January, they announced Activision Blizzard that they were ending their hybrid work model for members of the quality and assurance team in Minneapolis. God bless. In Minneapolis, El Sing, Segundo? Segundo. El Segundo? Yeah, we'll say that. And Austin. It issued a return to office mandate, which was a very controversial move considering how many staff members work from home due to health reasons, leading to it being criticized as a soft layoff. Now, if we keep reading, you will find that this is the team that did QA for Black Ops 6, and this is the team that did QA for Modern Warfare 2. Two of their best-selling games, or two of their most critically received games. So you're going to look at those folks, and you're going to tell me, this is my perspective now.
Hmm.
You're going to tell me that I'm sorry, press F. Work from home is dying everywhere. Rip. Press F. All right. Anyways, so you're going to tell me that I'm doing all of the work that I'm supposed to be doing, right? I'm doing everything. Doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Reason to believe that I've had a great hand in making sure that the gamer experiences the best game possible, and the two games that I have worked on as part of this dev team have done fantastic. Is that what I'm
Mm-hmm.
understanding? Yes, yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes, Mr. Employee. And now you're saying I have to come back into the office where I don't want to be, where morale is going to drop, to do the same thing I'm doing now and doing it in excellence. Yeah, that sounds great. Let us all talk and we'll get back with you. And then they like, hey, listen, we're just gonna go ahead and step out. We're gonna go ahead and walk out. We're gonna go ahead and just walk out in protest. And listen to this. Despite multiple requests from the union representing the video game workers, Activision and Microsoft have been unable to articulate why specifically they are insisting workers must work in the office, even those with serious medical conditions and doctors' recommendations to work from home.
Mm.
Like, that's
Mm.
absolutely nuts. So they can't even give you a good reason. So I remember one time I was let go from a job. Thought I had cancer. I missed like a week, or not a week. I missed like a month and a half of work. Went back for a week, and it was real bad too because I went in and I was like super appreciative. Like, hey guys, seriously, thank y'all for working with me through this. I know it's been hell. It was just me and one other dude, and like so he had to carry the whole load with the owner, and it was just bad. And so like we did all of this stuff, right? And as we did all of this, and I'm sitting here going, thank y'all so much, really appreciate it. Glad I don't have cancer. Sorry for all the delay and all the testing and all of this stuff. Uh, and then they go, well, can you go ahead and come in the office real quick? And I was like, ah, crap. Okay. So, and then that took place, and it was like, hey, we just don't want you here, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Fine. But when they let me go, they had no real reason. Because the reason they fired me is because I missed 6 weeks worth of work because I was ill. That's why they fired me. And I get it. Companies have to have people there to work. But when I went to file for unemployment, they reached out to them and literally got this same type of response. You can't articulate why you did this in any manner that is fair or right at all. And so Activision and Microsoft, and make no mistake, this article is not to pick on Activision and Microsoft. This article is because I really like that people can do this, and this is a gaming news podcast, and this is part of the gaming sector, and I really like that they are able to do this, and that they are hopefully going to get the results they want, or they'll get fired. So I think that this was a good move on their part. I think that they have a great way to say, hey, listen, we are responsible for your people enjoying these two games as much as they have. We gave our feedback. We spent countless times with these games, and listen, if granted, the boss can tell you to do what the boss can tell you to do, and you can choose to stay or go. But I do like what's going on with it. I really do. Cosmic,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think? Do you got anything to say on this? You want to just bounce to the next one?
I mean, to people's credit, a lot of people have been fighting against this, return to office thing. Um, I will say this: if you do have a serious medical condition that prohibits you from being in the office, okay, like a serious medical condition, something that you can just not get to the office, you have every right to work from home. But if you're just some, you know, slow Joe, everyday person and you want to like cry that you got to go to the office, like I really don't have any sympathy for you. Like for the people who have actual problems, I have sympathy for. Yeah, at my workplace we have people who work from home because they have illnesses. They have people they accommodate for people. Like I literally have a coworker who's going for radiation because of throat cancer. You know, really he shouldn't have been smoking a 40 pack every freaking day, but that's besides the point.
Oh, sure.
But they companies make accommodations, and in basic businesses 101, you need people within the offices at least a couple times a week. It doesn't need to be 7 days a week, 24/7, 365 days a year. No, but I feel as though that a lot of people use this excuse from work from home just to be like, oh, I get to stay home and I get to work whenever I want to and I get to do whatever I want. I'm like, no, not really. Like, is it cool that they were able to walk out and actually stand up to Microsoft and Activision? Yes. Yes, it is. I know we said we weren't going to clown on Microsoft and Activision, but I will say that this is a an egg on the face of Microsoft and Activision. They could not find a reason for people who did have serious medical conditions to return to the office, even though the doctor strictly told them, no, you cannot go back. And it's a double-edged sword. You get people who have serious problems that, have to work from home, and then you get the people who say, oh, I want to work from home. I don't want to go back to the office because I'm a lazy SOB who, wants to be at home all day, and then I work 2 hours and then that's it. And I feel as though that it's kind of 50-50 with me. And I don't want to, say like, oh, well, the office should push people and, it's manipulation or it should be there. And I understand a lot of that can happen. I understand that, but not every company's like that. But, it is good that that these people could stand up for themselves and just say, you know what, fuck it, we're going to walk out because whether you like it or not, we Q&A'd your two successful, not highly successful, but prominent games. We didn't do Modern Warfare 3 because, I don't think anybody play tested that fucking game. Let's be real here. But I do think it is good, because you get news every day. Not, I wouldn't say every day, but every once in a while you see news of more and more of Activision, Blizzard, or Bethesda, or developers that are under Microsoft unionizing because they're afraid of just losing their jobs randomly because Satya's fucking bonus check isn't big enough for that month. And good on them. Good. Stick it to fucking Microsoft and Blizzard. Or not Blizzard, but Activision. Do it. But again, like I said, it's a 50-50 situation.
Yeah.
People again who have serious problems should work from home. They should.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me that they can't give a fucking reason. That's the part that bothers me. I feel and this is more just me as a person. I don't like when corporate companies get to do whatever the fuck they want. It bothers me. And that's why the next topic we're covering. By the way, guys, we have been here for 1 hour and 15 minutes now. We have 22 likes on the video. If we could get that up a little closer to the number that's in here, it'd be greatly appreciated. There are 33 people in here right now. Hit that like button. We got another subscriber already during the live. I'm super appreciative of that. Thank you so much. If you're the one that subscribed, go ahead and let me know by hopping in the comments and saying, hey, it was me, just so I can thank you personally. I appreciate that. We are going to dive over into another company that, in my opinion, needs to chill the fuck out. with that being said, it is time to shit on Sony for a little bit. Yeah, you heard me. I said Sony. I know. I'm going to break all the rules of being a Sony pony just for a little bit. Because this sucks. This is bullshit.
This needs to be talked about.
This is horseshit. Let me just... how many studios has PlayStation closed in the last 36 months? Let's see. What studios has Sony closed? Firewalk. See if I can find a list of this shit. Shut down 2 studios right now. They've closed quite a few. They have closed quite a few. And so, with all of these closures, it's been very interesting to watch. And it's been really shitty to watch. Okay, so look at this. Here we go. Firewalk Studios closed. Guerrilla Cambridge closed. Japan Studios closed. London Studio closed. Manchester Studio closed. Neon Koi closed. Pixel Opus closed. We're not done yet. Valkyrie Entertainment closed. Nixxes Software, they got absorbed. That was different.
Yeah, they got.
Oh, these were the acquirers. I'm sorry, these were the acquirers. My bad. I was combining the two. Whoops, my fault. But that is 2023, 2020, 2024, 2024, 2021, 2024. Holy shit, guys. You want to know what's worse? Is I've made reasons why some of these studios got shut down. I don't necessarily think all of these closures were terrible. But the 2 newest ones that they've done, Firewalk Studios and Neon Koi, were purchased by them. It was a studio that they purchased.
They spent actual money on it.
They spent, yes, and then shut them down.
What was Neon Koi doing? Like,
mobile.
I
believe
remember.
Neon Koi was mobile.
Mobile. I can see why.
But that's their... That don't make any fucking sense. It sounds like their goddamn Xbox. PlayStation buys Neon Koi. Like, they sound like their Xbox right now. Hey, we're going to buy up all this shit and not know what to do with it, and then we're going to shut down the studios. Screw the fact that we have all this amazing talent. Screw the fact that they gave us a game that actually runs decently and the shooting felt good and all this other stuff. Forget the fact that they have been... like, bought by you to make games for you, thinking they're secure, and now, oh, boop, bye-bye. Like, it's infuriating.
Like, it is. It's absolutely infuriating to see Sony like Microsoft in a lot of these ways. Now, granted, there are legit reasons why some of these studios were closed. Japan Studio, the head honcho said he wanted to continue to make smaller games, and that's fine. But in doing so, he left, and, there was nothing really left to save the Japan Studio. They hadn't made a game in, a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last game they made was Gravity Rush 2. London Studio, I get. They made all those SingStar games, which I don't even know if they were that... I mean, they had to have been popular enough for them to have, how many, of those games? So, Sony has been, in my regard, on my bad side as of late. It's not like, I've seen some people saying, oh, I'm done, I'm going to sell my PlayStation, I'm done with Sony, all this kind of, no. What I think happened is that I think Sony panic bought because Microsoft started this buying war and Sony panicked and they bought and bought and bought and bought and they had no direction of what they wanted to do with this. I find it hilarious that they closed Neo Koi, which was a mobile studio, but then freaking NetEase just joined up with Bungie to freaking create Destiny Mobile.
Sorry, Fornitron. I'm gonna give you your props when I can. Fornitron just said Jim Ryan, and this is funny enough. Cosmic, you and I were talking about this beforehand. Jim Ryan saw that Fortnite money and got so hard that he convinced all the executive to go balls deep. That is so true.
You know what? I don't disagree with that because I've been really thinking about Jim Ryan's tenure at PlayStation ever since the news dropped about Firewalk being shut down. And
And
yeah,
Neon Koi, which this is what
and Neo Koi.
Henry in the chat, which he kind of beat me to it, but I was looking up because I was like, man, Neon Koi, that was the studio I thought they bought to do mobile, but I don't remember it being Neon Koi, and it's because they had their name changed. They were
Mm-hmm.
rebranded from Savage Game Studios to Neon Koi in
Neo Koi.
November of 2023, like a year ago. And you want to take all the was Savage Game Studios tied to Concord? Like, was that gonna be like what they were gonna work on mobile? Like, we don't even know.
Yeah.
But like,
See, and that's the problem.
anyways, continue your Jim Ryan thought.
Well, and this is where it leads into now where Jim Ryan's gone and Herman Holst came in and Jim Ryan basically left a messy office and Herman Holst is like, fuck, now I gotta clean this all up. I gotta fire these people, gotta close this studio, gotta do this, gotta do that, try to get everything back to the way it was. And unfortunately, we might, I'm not saying live service equals bad because Helldivers 2 is the exception to the rule. I'm not saying everything Sony's going to make live service is going to be
That
shit.
was luck.
You know yes, that was luck. Helldivers 2 is an experience that I don't really think was made before. Have there been other extraction shooters beforehand? I don't, off of the top of my head, I don't believe I remember any. But Jim Ryan, I feel as though I could see why some people don't like him. Now, again, it leads into the question, was he forced out? Was he fired? No, the dude was 62. All right. He's been with the company for 30 plus freaking years. He's 62, probably wants to spend time with his grandkids and all that other kind of crap. I'm pretty sure traveling at that age is a pain in the ass and everything else, and I get that. But I think Jim Ryan really tried to chase the trend of service, and when you get Sean Layden making these comments, it really makes you think, like, why the fuck did they replace Sean Layden with Jim Ryan? Now, would Sean Layden made the same mistakes? Would he have done anything different? We have no idea. That's an alternate universe that we'll never see. But in my honest opinion, I think a lot of these other live service studios are probably sweating buckets. They are probably sweating buckets right now. So much so that you could probably mop the floor with them. Like, I'm pretty sure Haven Studios is, trying their best to make a good game and everything else. And, I'm pretty sure whoever
Oh,
the
their
hell's
nuts are
making.
gone. They have no more. They're terrified. Like,
Yeah.
they're
I
so. And here's
are.
the fucking problem. Think about the workplace that you're creating right now. Think about this. You pitch your idea to Sony, or Sony sees your idea somewhere. They get in contact with your people. They do all of this shit. They sign the deals. They get everything going. They're like, hey, man, we want to support you. We want to do this. Come be a part of us. You say, guys, we've done it. We are a part of Sony PlayStation. This is going to be amazing. We are now set up for life, guys. We have the funding. We have the experience. We have the know-how. We have the knowledge. This is going to be great. And you do the thing. You make a game. It runs well.
Mhm,
It plays well. Gunplay is good. Your
mhm.
story is shit. And the
Yeah.
character development was rough. From secondhand, what I've heard, but it was what I've heard from people who actually played the game, like, and enjoyed the game and had fun with the game. Like Henry Heck, like, it's one of the guys. Light on story. They had all these things planned for it. Would have loved to see what they could have done with it. Some of the stuff was interesting, but overall, the gameplay was what everybody was really talking about how the game performed. And instead of saying, hey, you have something good here, let's tweak it, they have decided to just shut it down. What does that look like to another company like Haven, to these other employees of these other studios? Like, one of the jobs that I've had in my life, everybody got fired all the time. And every single day almost that you walked in, it literally felt like somebody was getting fired. And I remember that we would have conversations as the employees and be like, man, I really hope we don't mess this up. Or if you did mess up, like, you were a nervous freaking wreck. Like, are they going to fire me? Is this it? Is it over? Like, I don't have any room for error. I have to be perfect. It has to be great. It has to be wonderful. There's no, hey, we're going to work with them. There's no crap. No, we're just going to get shut down. And so now you're looking at Haven, and I believe Jade Raymond is over Haven. But
yes,
she has to be going, oh shit, guys. Like, and that just amps up the stress level. And I'll be honest, I don't work well under stress. Like, under stress of, like, job, I don't work well. That's why I love my current job, because I don't have that stress. But I've worked for places, and I've worked for people who put that stress on their employees. That's not a good business. That's not a good company. And so, yeah, Hero, once the mood is driven by fear, failure will be a flood. Absolutely. So let's just anticipate a lot of fear and failure from PlayStation. So, this does get us into our next part of this. Cosmic and I were talking beforehand when he had his thoughts on Jim Ryan, because I relate Jim Ryan leaving and Herman Hulst coming in as a sports team changing head coaches. And I've mentioned this before on the pod. It's nothing new. It's a philosophy that I've had for a while. If you change studio heads, you change leadership, you do that, it buys you a little bit of time with the fan base. You get about a year. In the sports world, at least. You get a season. The only way you get 2 seasons is if you take over. The next year, you were so bad that year, but people could see glimmers, and then you get your first round draft pick, you draft a quarterback, dude comes out, lights out, and then he breaks his ankle. Like, at that point, you just earned yourself 1 more year. But that next year, you better perform, and you better hit your numbers. So, knowing that that's the premise that I kind of relate these studio heads to and these people at the head of these companies to, I think that's why I've given them basically 2024 to say, all right, y'all can FAFO 2024. Got it. You pretty much have been solid the rest of the time, especially the rest of the time that I've been with PlayStation, so they have a hell of a lot of goodwill from me. And so I'm going to give you a year. Now we're coming up at the end of this. We're coming up to where, okay, Herman, what was it, March, April that he got appointed or placed in that position? And so we're 4 months, 5 months away from the year?
Yeah, you're right, yeah. Him and the other... I can never remember the other guy's name. I feel bad. He's the hardware guy. I can never remember his name.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Nishino.
Nishino?
Nishino.
Right.
Him and Herman got hired literally at the same time on the same day, and then they made a whole article, blog about it.
Because then they had him out doing like the business call like 2 weeks after that.
Yeah, that's where the Herman Hulst glasses down meme comes from. I fucking love that meme, by the way.
Well, because that's where he
I
also
use it all
said.
the time.
That's where he said our first party tentpole games will not be coming to
To
PC
PC.
day and date. No words were minced, no nothing, because that was at the same time that Phil was like, it's only going to be 4 games. This is not much. It's just a couple hand-selected titles, and we all knew that was bullshit. So
That was Herman Hulse poking
the,
Phil in the back of it with a
I
stick.
don't know. So I was listening to somebody, and this is a fun topic to explore. Do you think that these companies, or not? Do you think? Because I'm sure at some level they have to. But I was watching somebody who was like, "Hey, you know that these companies are in on the console war bullcrap, right? Like these companies, some of them especially play it up." And I was sitting there thinking about that, and I was like, man, what if they are? Like, what if that was a slight, like, huh, you see what I did there? Like, afterwards, they text, like, Herman texts Phil and goes, haha, see what I did there? I was able to speak freely. How about you? Like, what do you, do you think that, I don't know. That's just like Wonderland talk, but that sounds fun to me. Like, what do you think? Do you think they actually do
Hmm.
that? That'd be cool.
Uh, I don't know. I mean, it it brings into a lot of questions of, you know, I didn't think this generation was going to turn out the way it did, but here we are now. And I've been having a lot of discussions with a couple friends of mine, and, I see some people in the chat talking about it. If PlayStation continues to do this kind of stuff, there will be others to take their spot, or, especially Nintendo. I could, as well, Team Red. I don't want to say Nintendo, and then the stream gets sniped down by the ninjas. But um, I think PlayStation created a mess for themselves that didn't need to be a thing. Again, I'm not saying live service is bad, but they created this mess that now Herman has to now clean up, and then by the time he gets to make any executive level decisions, we're looking at maybe PlayStation 6. And by then we have no idea. And I've said this all the time, if PlayStation wants to, F around and find out, Nintendo can and sorry, Team Red can and will take that market share away from them, then they will not feel sorry about it at all.
Yeah, I think once
Um,
we get a Switch 2 announcement, I'm hoping that if the Switch 2 can go up to like a PS4 level or a PS4 Pro level, even that'd be kind of cool. Uh,
that's what they're saying. That's
I
what they're saying is
I know that's
PS4
what they're
Pro level.
saying, but I have
It's Nintendo. You never know what they're gonna
I
do.
know, dude, and I have such a reservation about the carts and if it can actually hold that. Like if those cartridges can hold that much, I don't know. I don't know enough about
Apparently,
storage and all that shit to know.
uh, from articles I've been reading, apparently they've been doing heavy investments into like SD cards that can hold much larger amounts of data. So my only issue is that spec wise, yes, it'll be PS4 Pro. It most likely won't have an SSD, which means it probably means it's going to be a little bit on the loading side, which is fine. It's not like it's the end of the world. Um, it's going to have 12 gigabytes of RAM, which will be the same as the Xbox Series S, and it will most likely, hopefully, have better internet connection, because I can tell you this right now, when I was younger, playing a round of Smash Brothers, and then all of a sudden at the end, the characters just stop moving and the internet just kicks me. Like Nintendo says, like, you better check your internet, because if you keep getting kicked, you're gonna get kicked. And it's just like, well, wow, okay, that's kind of rude. Like, what if it's just your shitty servers, Nintendo?
What
Like,
if it's just
you
your
know,
shitty servers? Like, right.
I mean,
Well,
like, this the same company that had to do HD gaming research when they got into the HD gaming market, you know. But I'll finish up real quick, because I don't want to take too much time. I just think that PlayStation put themselves in a situation that I didn't think they needed to, and now they're in it. And I think, like you said, we've got to see what Herman's gonna do. And if next year, like, oh, you get Ghost of Yote and you get the Venom game and you get a reveal of Wolverine and you get, Death Stranding 2 and you get all these great games that are exclusive to PlayStation 5, that's great. That's fantastic. That's what we want. That's what we want as PlayStation gamers at the end of the day, is the great exclusive games that are on the platform and, that we get to experience and love and play and all that other kind of stuff. But I don't know. Part of me just feels like PlayStation is setting themselves up, and I feel like we're in another Xbox situation, and that's what was one of my biggest fears. I've been with PlayStation for years now, and seeing what happened to Xbox was such a travesty. And if it were to happen to PlayStation, it would just be, God, the industry would crumble if that were the case.
So speaking of the industry,
not the entire industry, but a big,
not the whole thing.
The big chunk of it would get hurt. But go ahead, Thrifty. What you were going to say?
Well, you were talking about the industry, and one of the things along the lines of some of the other topics that we've covered tonight, it's these award shows, right? These game awards, these we have one coming up. You got Jeff Keighley's show coming up, and I put a post on my YouTube channel. On my YouTube, dumbass, I'm on the YouTube channel right now. On the channel, there we go. And that poll, I basically asked, do you still put as much hype into reward shows? Yes, no, or I just watch for the trailers. 32 votes. Thank you for those who keep voting. We keep getting around 32, 35, and so I truly appreciate that. 59% said I just watch for the trailers. 39% or 28% said no, and 13% said yes. So, a couple things. The cool answer is no, or I just watch for the trailers. I am really proud of whatever 13% said yes, because that is the unpopular opinion there. I don't I don't think that I think that takes a little bit of like self-awareness and self-acknowledgement to go, you know what, I'm going to put yes right here, and I know that's not the popular answer. So kudos to y'all 13%. But the industry has gotten to a point where you can't trust anything until you get your hands on it. That's
a huge problem.
But even the trailers, even things like I'm just not even like I'm gonna cover the show because I have a channel and I'm going to cover it because of the content. But the Game Awards right around the corner, and I don't give a rat's ass. And I'm sure I'm gonna see some stuff there, and there might be a couple trailers that get me absolutely hyped. But man, that's right, Hero. The novelty of awards is gone. Because everybody, I remember
Jeff hands them out like freaking, Game Pass.
Well, it's not just Jeff. You got to think how many different organizations hand out a Game of the Year. Like when Jeff Keighley does his Game of the Year, that's great. But then you'll get a BAFTA Game of the Year. You'll get a this and that Game of the Year. You'll get a Tech Game of the Year. You'll get the Golden Joystick Game of the Year. Like you get all of these Game of the Years. You get RPG of the Year, not JRPG. You get RPG of the Year. You get Shooter of the Year, Family Game of the Year, and then all these other companies do the same thing. Most technologically advanced Game of the Year. Like at some point, we can't. I think Cosmic, you said it best. We can't be the Oprah Winfrey of video game awards. Like these companies are out here just going. You get an award. And it's to the point, and I can't remember who said it. Let me open up the comments real quick. But somebody had made the statement that these are only for the people. Oh, it was Henry. Yeah, just for trailers. These games are chosen based upon us, or not based upon us as gamers. They're chosen based upon people that work in the industry wanting to give awards to their peers. And that's I don't know if it's always been that way. What's up, Outsider Gaming Night? I don't know if it's always been that way. I would like to assume and hope that back when I was younger and these games and I would see on a box that it said Game of the Year or like Game of the Year edition, that actually meant that the game was solid, that the game did well, that the game was good. But
Yeah, a lot of them did that. Like when I played Batman Arkham City, it was Game of the Year edition. I was like, oh, this game was a Game of the Year. Well, that's cool.
yeah, and it's really crazy. Like, has it always been that way? Have I always been getting fooled? Have I always had the wool pulled over my eyes by these companies? Did I fall for marketing? Did they market me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you start to question so many things when you're like, huh, this damn thing ain't for me, is it? Well, then why the hell do I want to watch it? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I'll probably do a poll next week. I like being able to review these. It gives a good little talking point. But guys, if you are hyped for the award show, I did say rewards. Not I'm supposed to be awards. Holy crap. I'm sitting here reading that going, that doesn't look right. Okay. Anyways, spelling is not my first subject.
I do have a question for you and the chat.
Okay.
What do you think we see, and do we see a certain company announcing more of its titles going to a certain competition platforms?
Man.
Because I was
Here's the
watching
deal.
that King
I'm
Crash.
so unhyped about this. I'll let you finish in just a sec. I'm so unhyped about like game shows and stuff right now that I'm really like, I'm like, cool. But I don't know. I think Sony already gave us their big one for next year, so I don't know if we'll get another one. But I mean, that's what I'm hoping for every time I have the video game awards or E3 or an E3 type of event. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm hoping to see kind of what's coming up next, what's coming out, but I don't know, man. It's been so souring lately on journalism and video game coverage and what makes game of the year. And it all started last year with like, at some level, sales should factor in to game of the year. It just should.
Well,
Like
yeah, if a
at
game is
some
selling
level,
well,
right?
yeah, if a game is selling well, it should at least contend. Like Baldur's Gate 3 sold well and it won so many awards. Spider-Man 2 sold extremely well but got nothing. So it's kind of weird,
Well,
man.
Hogwarts sold extremely well and didn't even get
And
nominated for
got
a damn thing.
well, that's because Jeff didn't want to have the entirety of the crybabies on Twitter go after him. So that's another reason why. Um, but I asked the question because I was watching a King Thrash's video, and he was doing the video about Halo's rebranding and everything, and he thinks that something's gonna be happen on 11/11 because that's when the Master Chief Collection will celebrate its 10th anniversary. God, I can't believe it's been 10 years already. um, time's flying, man. But possibility of it coming to PlayStation, I don't know. It's just a big hypothesis, but like you said, man, these Game Award shows, and I left it in a comment in your poll earlier. Like Jeff's shows have just gotten worse over time. They've got more advertisements than cable television does, and he just hands awards out for just like the dumbest reasons. Like you get an award and you get an award. Oh, this guy wore the best suit to the opening night, so you get an award, or like it's like we're handing participation trophies out, and I'm like, it feels like nobody really earns this stuff, and that's just me. Maybe others don't feel the same way, But for me personally, it's just like these shows are so boring. They go on for way too long. I nearly fell asleep watching the Gamescom show this year until Jez. I was watching Jez's show until they announced that Indiana Jones was coming to PlayStation 5. Like, that was literally the only exciting what the fuck kind of thing that happened in that entire show. And I've noticed this over the course of the last couple of years that Jeff has been using PlayStation as a crutch to get people to watch his shows.
Yeah, like what are they going to announce? We know Jeff has something from PlayStation, so what are they going to announce here?
Exactly. Like you see that PlayStation logo partnership with Gamescom or the Game Awards. So, Sony's going to have something. So it's like it's used as a crutch because everything else was just like it was so boring. It was all top down point and click games and everything, and I'm not going to sit here and shit on these games that people like. If you like that stuff, that's fine, but like there was nothing exciting, nothing enticing. They showed off Black Ops 6's campaign and you could hear crickets in the crowd. You could literally hear a church mouse. Like nobody was excited for that unveiling of Black Ops 6. And I don't know if it's just because people are sick of Jeff's shows or if it just wasn't appealing at the time. I don't know, but
I think
these
the gaming industry as a whole is, and I've said it a little bit before, I think it's going through a bit of a reset, a bit of a restructure. And this whole conversation started, we waffled, we waffled from Sony doing what they're doing over to this, but let's take it back because one of the things that is frustrating, and it's not all how do I say this? It's not all terrible. The way they're doing it, they are trying to save as many jobs as they can. They're going to try to assimilate some over into other areas. The same thing they're doing with Bungie. They're bringing some of Bungie's people over. The creative studio is coming over, and her and her team, I believe, are going to be taking over like the live service stuff and like helping games that have that element and help grow that. And it just feels like, it honestly feels like PlayStation has gone and said, hey, listen, we're stopping this shit. We're done. We got to be done. Not with it altogether, but like for now, we need to be done.
We need to put the brakes on this.
Let's get the teams in place that we should have done from the beginning. Let's stop chasing this. And this is where people in the chat might go, mainly Fornitron, this is where people in the chat might go, oh, you're coping, you're doing this, you're doing that, now your Sony fanboyism is coming out. What I am doing and what I've done every single time is I usually give a secondary perspective, even when it comes to Xbox's bullshit. Even when it comes to what Phil Spencer does, I, most of the time, will give, or it could be this. Because we don't know. We're not in the boardrooms. We're not there for these meetings. We don't know what's actually going on. So the other side of this is Herman's walking through, Herman's cleaning house, Herman's going through all of this crap and going, okay, that's not going to work, gone. That's not going to work, gone. We paid a shit ton of money for you. We want your team and your team's input. We're not going to let you go. Y'all are coming over here to PlayStation because we still want to do live service, but we're going to do it a little differently. Y'all made a game that shit the bed. It was uninspired, uninnovative, and not very creative. Good game, but not good enough. Goodbye. Like, going in and just literally looking at everything and going, okay, you're gone. Mobile, listen, we can't do live service push, mobile push, this push, this push, that. Like, we still want to, but not all at the same time. We gotta, right.
Yeah, like, not on the scale that they originally wanted to do.
There is that possibility that this is all the house cleaning that the new head coach is doing from the quick and utter mess that the last one left towards the end of his tenure. Like, Once again, I know that we might not have a lot of sports fans here, but I are one, and guess what? You're here. So, you get another analogy.
I'm
When
ready for this.
when, when Bill
Not because I'm a
Belichick
sports fan.
when Bill Belichick was with the New England Patriots, he had
Mm-hmm.
so many years of success.
Mm-hmm.
So many years. And towards the end, he made some decisions and shit the bed pretty hard that they
Mm-hmm.
are still trying to recover, getting closer, but they are still trying to recover in New England right now
Mm-hmm.
from the mess that was left over. So, it's not unheard of to have to clean up a little bit of the stuff. And it sucks because these people are now casualties of bad decision making and chasing money by Jim Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about another person here in just a minute who's done the exact same shit.
Yeah.
They have
Trust me.
chased. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just trust me, because you're probably gonna hate me. But I'm an Eagles fan, so I know what that's like. You get good players in, you get good coaches in, and then halfway through the season, we forget what a football is and we forget how to play. So it's just like, what are we doing here? We need to reorganize. We need to, you know, maybe get some different players in. Maybe some of these players need to retire, whatnot. I get where you're coming from.
But yeah, so that's the other side of it. That's the side it's a possibility. I'm not saying it
Yeah.
is what happened, but
Mm-hmm.
if next year comes out and they slap and Ghost of Yotai hits and it is awesome and all this other stuff, and we get another game at the end of
Mm-hmm.
the year along with the one or two, three, four, second, third party deals, whatever, what have you, like, cool.
If it's a normal year, if it's a
If it's a
normal
normal year,
year,
right. We get our
yeah.
two mainline PlayStation exclusives, one in February, March, April, one in October, September, October, November. Like, give me those two games, keep us fed throughout the rest of the year, keep doing your indie stuff, which they're killing it on. Like, keep doing a lot of that stuff, and it'll be a great year. And then I can look back on this episode and go, you know what? He was just cleaning house. The problem comes in if next year starts or next month starts or we're going not next month, sorry, next summer starts and we're after the year and we start hearing, oh, Sony just closed this studio, Sony just closed that studio, this game's getting delayed, that game's getting delayed, that game didn't show up, that project got canceled, that team's no longer here. Like,
Then that's a problem.
if we start having a repeat of the news cycle that we've had this year for Sony, then yes, that becomes a massive, massive, massive problem. And, well, then you get to start looking at them like a lot of people look at Xbox. Speaking of Xbox, this is not a good look for Sony at all. Not gonna lie. But on the other side of the coin, we have an equally not as good look.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at Nelson's
Uh-oh.
comment.
Uh-oh.
Eagles fan. Jesus Christ, way too stable to be an Eagles fan. Had me
Wait.
fooled. I'm sorry.
That's actually
Yeah,
true.
I know Nelson. I've seen some pretty bad Eagles fans. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Um,
Y'all y'all
can be,
y'all scare me. So that's because
I wouldn't hurt a single person here.
well,
It's like it's
but
football.
but
Like what? I
whenever
don't
I
give a
whenever I
shit.
watch our two teams play, the stands always break out in a fight, especially if we're in Philly.
Oh my god! It's WWE Raw. It's like Monday Night Raw, WWE. People are jumping off the high rope and all that other shit. I'm like, guys, it's football. It's just a bunch of fucking guys in tight pants running around and catching a cow skin. Like, what are we doing here?
Hang on. Dritz de Warden's an amazing character from D&D. That like D&D was written by, or those stories were written by R.A. Salvatore. Fantastic author. Fantastic author.
He's a great author. He's a great author.
Sorry, there's a little bit of an argument going on in the chat. Damn, y'all are lively tonight. Uh, but yeah, no, Dritz Do'Urden is my favorite freaking D&D character. Period. Uh, that's why I really liked the old Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance games, because if you beat him the first time with any character, you unlocked Dritz. Not as a digital download, but as a built-in feature of the freaking game. For beating it, you got to play as a new character who had 2 scimitars, and it was freaking awesome. I can't remember if you could summon Guinevere in that game. Anyways, sorry, Nerddom was showing. Okay, back to gaming news this week. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella gets a $30 million pay raise amid year of massive game layoffs. This
Whoa.
is from IGN, and that's after he took a voluntary pay cut. We can't forget that. Okay.
A voluntary pay cut of what? Like, what was his previous pay if he's taking a pay cut? Like,
Well,
bro, you're still making 30 mil.
Well, hang on, because I'm either going to eat crow because I haven't read the article. I'm either going to eat crow here and give this dude his props. Maybe he was making this beforehand, and now he's making it again. Like, maybe he took a pay cut, did all this, kind of restructured some stuff. Let's see. This is written by Rebecca Valentine from IGN. I'm sorry for the source, but they had the article. So, the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, is getting a pay raise, a $30 million one. According to a proxy filing published earlier this week and spotted by NBC, Nadella's compensation for the fiscal year 2024 totaled $79.1 million. That is a lot of freaking money. $2.5 million of this was his base salary. $71.24 million was stock rewards. $5.2 million was non-equity incentive plans. I don't give a shit about that. This is a significantly higher than last year, with Nadella's compensation totaling over $48.5 million. While Nadella's base salary remained flat between the year, he saw a massive jump in the fiscal year in stock awards, going from 39.2 to 71.24 million. So that can be viewed. Okay. Once again, I said I was either going to eat crow or I was going to lay into him on this. So, the stocks got a big, huge bump because of ABK. Okay? And actually, funny enough, let's look at this. Let's go over here. Where is it? Zubitech posted this earlier. And let me go ahead and pull this up because I think it's going
good old Zuby.
I think it's going to give a little bit of context here. Okay, so their revenue is up to $65.6 billion. That's 16%. This is Microsoft. Operating income was up 14%. Net income was up 11%. Cloud revenue up 22%. Let's hit the show more button. Hey, he didn't even charge me to see more. That's nice. Cloud revenue 22%. The Xbox content and services revenue 61%. By far, their biggest growth was in Xbox content and services revenue. Now, they have been able to add in some things like Blizzard's backend, BlizzNet, the World of Warcraft stuff, all of that stuff. So that actually makes quite a bit of sense. So this all might be because it's from stock options. And once again, I did not read the article beforehand. But because it's from stock options, this could level out next year. Because they get that big boost this year from the new acquisition, new whatever, and then next year it drops back down. The biggest problem I have with this is that they have laid off so many dang
lot of people.
And
I mean,
a lot from their console, from their Xbox division.
Didn't they fire the team that did physical releases too? Like, they're getting rid of like almost anything related to Xbox, and that's sad. That's really sad.
It does really suck. Like, and maybe this is the same thing that happened with Sega, and I was too young to realize it. But
See, I don't want to interrupt you, Thrifty, but like when I was doing my research on Sega, and then there's a fantastic person within the Discord. His name's Tornado Screw. Great guy, very informative about Sega. Sega did a lot of things that Microsoft is copying. Sega had a subscription back in the 90s called Sega Channel. You paid a TV subscription for that to get games. Okay, if you didn't have that subscription, you weren't getting those games. And then they created more hardware that really didn't help themselves, and then they banked on one more console, which was the Dreamcast, which I personally is still one of my favorite consoles to this day. Didn't work out for them. And then fast forward like a year or so after the end of the Dreamcast, they go to, Sonic goes to the PlayStation to Nintendo, the third party and everything. I'm pretty sure there was a fuss about it. I'm pretty sure there were people upset, but Sega didn't faff about as much as Xbox is. Like, Xbox just can't seem to make its mind up. Like, are we third party, or are we just generous people who put our games on other platforms, but yet we still have our own console that we make games for and we still sell? Like, they can't seem to make their mind up. And I see a lot of similarities between Xbox and Sega. A lot of similarities between the two. It's actually kind of really scary at how similar it is. It's like almost textbook note for note of what Sega did. Not note for note, but like very close.
Well, it will be once we see the once we see the other big names come over. You know what I mean? Like, they laid off 2,500 people so far.
That is a lot of people.
That is a lot. Microsoft as a whole has laid off more than that.
Haven't they laid off like 16,000 people?
Something like that. The numbers are on a previous video that I've done, on a previous live stream, but like that's just
like
that's the part
insane.
where like, dude, Satya, I understand their stock options, but shit, read the room. Like, just like. But
like,
on the other end, he didn't get. This is why I'm torn on this, because on the other hand, he didn't get any extra money like from like Microsoft necessarily. It was a stock payout. Like, that's different with. So my grandmother, well, my wife's grandmother, she worked for Walmart. Walmart gave you stock options that you could either take your dividends every year, or you could put them back in to buy more stocks. And her grandmother always put them back in, and so did her grandfather, because they both worked for Walmart for 30 years. They always put them back in to buy more stocks.
Yeah.
They still got that bonus, quote unquote, every year. So it wasn't like it was something that, hey, because we fired all these people, you now make all this money. So it's just, God, it's not a good look. Like, and also, like Henry said in the chat, like, super, like, dude got his bread. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Like, dude got his bread.
Dude could buy 3 Ferraris, 3 mansions in the hills, and do whatever the hell he wants.
He could almost afford 3 MC Hammer homes this year. And so, like,
you know what was crazy? I don't want to interrupt you.
Did you catch that reference?
Jez made. Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did. I might be young, but I'm not that young. But Jez made this comment a long time ago. One New York Giants stadium was like, they could have made like a bajillion of those stadiums with the amount of money they spent on Activision Blizzard King. One stadium. Okay? That cost $1 billion to make. They could have made fucking a shit ton more. That is how much money we're talking about that they spent on this one company that is helping them. But let's be real here. Activision is now Xbox. Xbox's studios really are kind of in the twilight zone, as I like to call it. They're kind of just like, they're there, but they're really not there. And then when they do show up, it's, sometimes it's underwhelming. Sometimes it's a surprise. I don't really want the games to suck, but, history has a way of proving me wrong. So, but Satya made his money, and it sucks that people got. It sucks that people got fired. It really is. Like, it's not a good look. It's just not a good look. It's not a good look for any of these companies that fire people and then the executives are, making bank. And then you get Satya's comments about AI and all this other kind of crap, and it's just like, bro, can Microsoft just go like a day, just a day, without any bad news,
No.
without any bad crap happening?
No.
They just can't see. It's like bad news just follows them
Well,
around.
actually, so that's not true. That's not true. They actually, last week, I remember thinking to myself, dang, they did two things right in a row. And I can't for the life of me remember what the hell the other one was, but one of them was Call of Duty campaign. Like, I heard people left and right talk about how great the campaign was, and how great it is, and how awesome it is, and how it's one of the best campaigns that they've done. I've been hearing praises about it. I was like, man, that's really cool. Good job. And then it was something else, and I can't remember what it was. And so I was like, oh shit, that's two good things in a row. I actively remember thinking, that's the second thing they did that was good. What? Huh. No way. Like, I was surprised because the joke for the past 3 years has been Xbox can't do two things in a row that are good. They just can't.
They take one step forward and 50 steps back.
Yeah. And so that's kind of been the thing. And like, now we're gaining a little bit of traction. We see that they're starting to make their path a little clearer. And now we're getting into the point where, okay, the new norm is going to end up being Xbox games go everywhere. We know that. That's going to be the new normal. It will end up causing some sort of ripple effect, some sort of revenue growth for them. We've already seen it do it. We've already seen their games when they came over to PlayStation. They did well enough. Satya came out and was like, yes, we're sending more over there. Oh, okay. We're going to keep exploring this. Cool. Awesome. Here's Indiana Jones. Didn't think that's what they were going to start with, but there's Indiana Jones. We have the whole rumors around Master Chief CE. We have all of those. Great. The industry is changing, and Xbox is no longer going to be they're no longer going to be known as primarily a console brand anymore. And that's what they've been trying to get rid of for this entire generation. We know that. No console required. The first thing marketed for Starfield was a fucking chair. A PC gaming chair, nonetheless. It looked really cool, but like, no Xbox.
And Samsung, and then Samsung TVs.
And the Samsung TVs. That's right. It was the Samsung TV first.
Then
it was the chair. Then it was the chair that had the GPU with it.
Then it was Game Pass, and then it was PC Game Pass, and then it was the Velcro.
Then it was the jacket for the
console.
Yeah, it was the jacket for the console because it gets cold.
Even though if you took a heat gun to that thing is probably like a nuclear, reactor. But yeah, I mean, it is good that they, did at least some good things. Microsoft doesn't do everything horrible. It's just that they do a lot of horrible things.
There's a lot. But we know the reason why they're going. We know the reason why they're switching and leaving hardware. It's the
Oh yeah,
only thing in their financial report that lost them money was the Xbox hardware.
Amy Hood said they were going to lose more.
Amy, you're
Yeah, she
not
said
wrong.
no,
Like,
no. Amy Hood, she's what is she? The CFO? She's not the CFO. She's the Microsoft CFO. She's like Satya's right hand man. She's the one that Phil reports to. Um, I think she said that they continue to expect Microsoft Xbox consoles to continue to decline in sales. And yet you have Sarah Bond out here touting more hardware and handhelds and all this other kind of stuff, and you know, just like no, just like you had not Tim Sweeney, what was his name? Tim Stewart, who's the Xbox CFO, saying that PlayStation, Nintendo are great ways for us to make more money, and then you had Phil on the June showcase say you are going to see more of our games go to more platforms, and I fully believe that we're going to start seeing more. I think Forza Horizon 5 is going to be next, obviously along with Indiana Jones, and then I think maybe Starfield. And then, reports were saying, they were really kind of iffy about Halo, but eventually Halo will have to come to PlayStation or Halo just dies. I know we had that show and I, brought my heart out on that show for Halo, but, if they don't do this, Halo dies. That just is what it is. The Steam players for Halo are horrible, and the Xbox Ones are not as good either. So
yeah, it all is starting to make a lot more sense. And the people on the other side of the aisle, the doubters, the naysayers, the folks who are like, "Hey, no, that's not actually what's happening. It's not. I promise. It's not. It's not. It's not. They're not taking them over there. They're not getting rid of the Xbox console. It's not. No, it's doing great. No, guys, it's really, really not.
it's not doing well.
And it's the delusion that bothers me. Like, I know, I know who I am. I know what I am. I'm okay with it. I
Mm-hmm.
can be delusional about games. I recommended people to buy Outriders. Sorry for any of y'all who did. That game wasn't good. It was fun as hell, but it wasn't good. So yeah, there's bias everywhere. Hell, I was watching one of the guys today who was like, "Hey, I've done reviews before where I've been." Oh, it was Asman. He was like, "Listen, I've done reviews before where I've been like, hey, I'm coming at this from a negative standpoint already. I already think the game is garbage, so I'm about to play it." And like, he's like, so you might not want to listen to my review when it comes to is the game
Mm-hmm.
good or not. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, if it's like me, if you gave me a first person shooter and you said, "Hey, this game is going to be set as a first person shooter. It's just a run and gun looter shooter. Have a great day." I would already go into it. Okay, I know what's going to happen. L2, R2, grenade, duck, crouch, blah blah blah. Run through the thing, shoot some things here. They're going to pop up. There might be a jump here or a jump there. This is just going to be boring as shit. Like, my review of that game is probably not going to be solid. It's just not.
No.
Outright. Listen, Fornitron, you have not said a lot in chat that I've agreed with tonight. Mainly because y'all are kind of engaging in your own thing and not with the pod. But, like, I will agree that Outriders is absolute garbage. But that garbage was extremely fun. It was extremely fun. They had the gameplay on lockdown. The problem is so did the bugs.
Mm-hmm.
like,
That's just like I saw recently, like Anthem is another game, and the guy who made Anthem wants to reboot it. So like it's you know.
Jesus, please, like, just understand. Like, people can fly even knew that the only reason that people were playing their game was because of gameplay. It wasn't because it was stable. It wasn't.
Mhm.
There were times you'd be playing it and your buddy would just like stop, and on your screen he'd be stopped. You'd be like, dude, what the hell's going on? He's like, I don't know, I'm moving. What are you talking about? I'm killing everything. And you're like, no, you're not. And so you don't know if it's his screen or your screen or his game or your game. And then all of a sudden, one of you just disappears out of thin
Mhm.
air. And then you go back to the loading screen and you're like, are you freaking kidding me? And or you'd go in and your specials wouldn't work. You know, your big things that are supposed to deal a shit ton of damage to everything, they wouldn't. The game was objectively hot garbage. But through all of the garbage, there was a fun game. I think it's landed at like a 57 or like a 63 or something,
Mhm.
and I think that's a great score for the game. Like, I
Yeah.
think
Like.
I think that's fair, and I think I was way more generous with it in my review of it because I was still playing it at the time, and the newest expansion had just come out. It was like a $30 World Slayer expansion, and so I think I was just on that hype level, like that dopamine hit from the gameplay and the fact that it actually came out halfway decent. But like,
Mhm.
anyways, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say like there's games that I've played that people said were like not really good, but I've enjoyed, and I had the game on in the top of my head. What game was it? Fuck, I can't remember what it was called. Like the Star Wars Battlefront game, like the rebooted like Star Wars Battlefront game. I know people weren't really like happy with those games, but I liked those. Those were fun. Um, I'm trying to think of what other games. Oh, damn it! I had the one game and I can't remember it. It's on the tip of my tongue and I can't freaking remember.
Spit it out, bro, because I don't know what you're talking about.
I can't remember. My brain just kind of just froze.
Describe it. Can you describe it? 2 words, 1 syllable. What do we got here?
Um, fuck, I can't remember. My brain completely just shut off on it. I think it's probably just because the fact that it's midnight. uh, I can't remember. If I remember, I'll send it via Discord. But like, there's a number of games I've played throughout the years that people have said are shit or aren't as good or is like overall I had fun with them. I thought they were fun and everything else.
Yeah, there's
But
there's quite a few of those titles. Like Torchlight, don't necessarily like the game, but the mechanic is fun, and if you're looking for a Diablo clone, great game. Like it's but like meh.
mhm.
Anyways, I think that once we finally see the full transition that Satya has been wanting to make, I think we are all going to be playing some Xbox titles. I think that all of us are going to end up enjoying these titles. I've said it many times. Give me Halo. If you,
Gears, give me Gears
Gears,
too.
yes, I want to play Gears and I want to play Halo. Never played either of those. And well, I played Halo
Hmm.
multiplayer at buddies' houses when I was younger, but I've never been through the campaign, and I want to. I want to play through those games. Those got me so close during the PS3 era to
To
Switch.
get an Xbox.
Dude, it's so close. And I keep saying it was God of War 3 that kept me, but really I think what it was more than that was the goddamn controller. Like,
The not dual sense. What was
no,
it called?
just the
The
parallel
Dual
sticks.
Shock.
I hate the
The parallel
offset
sticks.
sticks.
Yeah.
I can't. I like literally when I tried to play on the original Xbox, that controller was a piece of trash. It was terrible.
Oh, the Duke. The Duke
The big
controller,
controller that was the size of a Totino's pizza? Like, yes. That thing
The
made
thing
your...
was huge.
It was awful. It was terrible. And then they're like, oh, they redesigned it. No, they made it a bit smaller. It still sucks. Move the stick. All you have to do is move the stick. That's it. I'll get over your A, B, X, Y horse crap. Like, just move the damn stick. And that, combined with Halo and Gears, I probably would have bought an Xbox during that time. Because PlayStation didn't have me in the PS3 generation until the end of the PS3 generation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But man, once they get that transition fully done, I think we will see Xbox and their gaming division become a powerhouse
Oh,
in
hell yeah.
in the AAA indie. I think they'll do it all. I think they're going to end up being one of the best publishers out there, but they have to get out of the position of one foot in, one foot out, Satya saying one thing, Phil saying another, Tim Stewart coming out and throwing a monkey wrench in what both of those folks say. Like, we got to get some consistency from them. And I think that's what that's what their loyal fans get most annoyed with. Like, we see it on X, we see it on the YouTube podcast, we see it everywhere. Like, be consistent. And that's honestly what is such a struggle right now being a PlayStation fan as well. They're not being consistent. They're not telling us anything. They're not... And when they are telling us stuff, we're like, okay, great, but what about the rest of the shit? Like, what about all the other stuff y'all done?
It's the same thing with Team Red. Team Red basically, like, freaking announced a music app today, and people are like, you know, where the hell Switch 2? Where are your games? Why are you so quiet? Where's your consistency? You know, like nobody has been consistent. The big three, I will admit here and now, is that they have not been consistent at all this year. Microsoft has been their usual circus clown show. Sony's been too quiet for their own good. And Nintendo just rests on their laurels because they think, you know, they can continue to sell Mario Kart 8, even though it still does sell. But they think they can just continue to, you know, make money off of games they released 8 years ago. You know, and it's, you know, definitely this year has been the third party year. It definitely, the second and third party year it's been their year. But I did want to add one thing to your comment about Xbox bringing their games. They have to be good. These games can't just come to Xbox, to PlayStation, and then they just expect them to sell. Like, these games have to be good.
Fornatron said, I think it's hilarious that... Sorry, he's actually interacting with what we're saying, so I kind of want to bring it up. I want that's Josh. Josh, I'll read yours next. Getting at blah, 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 Fornatron. I think it's hilarious that Mario Kart 8 still charts to this day. And then Josh, right before that, said, I want the Lego Horizon game. Like, these are pretty fun. Like, I like both of those. Go ahead, sorry.
No, to Fornatron, to his talking point, it is nuts. But these games have to be good, you know. And as somebody who works within the business world and everything, you can't just put a product on a shelf and then expect it to sell. Okay. You know, that'd be like Porsche putting in a brand spanking new car model, and they put it in the showroom floor, but they don't tell you anything about it. They just put it there. They're like, you know, like, oh, it's a new model. What does it do? I don't know. What's the speed on it? I don't know. Okay, well, why is it here? Oh, we just put it here just for show, you know, hoping people would buy it. You know, you can't just put a product on a platform and expect it to sell. You need an incentive. You need something to gravitate people to that product. Like Halo, that in-game, in-engine can look as pretty as it can ever want to be, but if the game comes out looking like Craig 2.0, Halo Infinite, 2.5, then it's a waste of time. If Gears comes out and it looks nothing like what they showed at the in-game engine asset, at the June showcase, then it's a waste of time. I think it's funny and sad that they have to go to this route where they're putting their games on PlayStation and Nintendo, but the games also still have to be good. They have to be good, because if they're not, then you're putting all this time and money and resources into this initiative that is not going to make you money, and then you're just going to have to rely on Activision. And then Activision just basically becomes Microsoft Gaming. And then Halo and Gears and Forza and all that shit just goes to the wayside of Banjo-Kazooie and Conquer. They joined the freaking graveyard of that. And I want these games to be good. I'm not sitting here saying I want these games to be horrible. No, I want these games to be good. They need to be good, because they need to be good for Microsoft's sake. Because if they're not, that's a problem. That's a huge problem if they're not good.
Yeah, and I think that once they get that direction kind of snipered in, I think that they'll be fine. They have the IP, even though we joke all the time that they only have 4 main franchises. They have the IP. Like, they need to get out of their own way. And right now, Sony is doing the same damn thing, and they need to chill the fuck out now.
Yes.
Like,
completely agree.
Get this shit out of your system. I'm telling you, I'm giving you until the end of Q4 for 2024. Yes. 5. Is that right? 2025 starts now.
That'd be March of next year. That'd be the end.
Yes. I'm giving him 1 year from install. And that's it. And after that, we're going to start grading. Ghost of Yotei will be your first grade. How did we do? What game is coming out next? No more of this bullshit. No, if you want to do live service, great. Make it a damn good live service game. Give us what everybody wants. Blend it. One of the things that Will has always said, and like I said, he was supposed to be on the show tonight, but one of the things that Will has always said is just blend it. Do what we want. Give us the story, give us the campaign, and give us a multiplayer afterwards. Done.
Yes. Exactly.
Stop chasing trends and go back to being yourself. In the chat earlier, it was said, go back to making movie games. Please, you're good at them. Like,
yes, exactly.
you're great. You're golden. Make those. We buy them. Your people love them. And let other developers swing and miss on this bullshit. Let them swing. And you got Helldivers 2. Congratulations. You make 30% off of all the sales of every other game, roughly. I'm sure that there's some that don't, or some that make 50, or some that make 20, or some that make 10. Like, I don't know. But I know they make a cut off of every single game sold. So who cares? They get a cut of microtransactions too.
Yeah.
So, like, promote the shit out of Fortnite. Keep doing, like, stop trying to spread yourself so darn thin.
Hell, I would even say this, like, I would prefer them to make fucking TV shows and movies over them doing this whole live service shit. But that's just me, like, but what you say, Thrifty, is true. Like, it's gonna be a mess, and it has to be cleaned up. They have to get their ducks in a row, because right now their ducks are all over the office, and now they're trying to chase.
just quacking.
Now they're trying to just quacking away.
It's just quacking away.
They're chasing them around like a Tom and Jerry cartoon. You got Herman Hulst chasing these freaking developers around like it's a freaking Tom and Jerry cartoon. He's just, he's like, come back, you come back, but I think Herman, you know, yes, is he a respectable person within the PlayStation, system? Yes. Do I think he's going to do a horrible job? No. Um, I think at the end of the day, like you said, we'll have to wait to grade him on his performance by next year. Um, and if by next year, if what people have been saying is true, like new Uncharted game showing a Wolverine, that's the reason why Spider-Man 2 went to PC so early, Ghost of Yote, all that kind of stuff. If we can just go back to normal and this year is just an off year. And I've said this for a long time. In business, there is always going to be an off year. No matter how big or small the company is, there is always going to be an off year. And I am in no way, shape, and form giving business advice to people. No, but from what I've learned, there's always going to be an off year. There's always going to be a year where you just don't quite get there. You don't quite make the margins. You just don't quite get there. And it's not.
And I don't remember who it was, but I think somebody in the Discord was saying, like the fallacy of year-over-year growth is killing a lot of companies now. Like, because eventually you're going to plateau. Eventually, like you said, Cosmic, you're going to have those down years. It's going to happen.
Exactly.
It really, like, you can't get away from it.
All three of the big three have faced it.
And so you got Herman over here getting his ducks in a row, and those ducks are just flying all over the place. And
do you have a quack thing going on?
It's in the Discord. Yes, it's great.
Oh, okay.
So like you have all these ducks running around. He's trying to shoot them. He's trying to go duck hunt on them. But the problem is he didn't make Duck Hunt. That's a Nintendo game, so he's trying to figure out what the fuck he's supposed to do. And so instead, he's just saying, "Listen, leave, go. I'm not gonna kill you. I'm not gonna shoot you. Just get out of here." And I fully believe, only because they haven't screwed up this bad in a long time. I can't say ever in the past, but they haven't screwed up this bad in a long time. I still feel like they're going to turn it around. And you've heard it here, guys. I still feel that Xbox, once they get their toe out of the console sector, they are going to be a force to be reckoned with. They will. Yeah, guys, they have the largest fucking franchises out there.
You think the shit Ubisoft is going through right now is bad? Just wait till Microsoft could potentially have. Like, they will be the world's biggest Western publisher ever. They just will be, because they'll have Call of Duty, they'll have World of Warcraft, they'll have freaking all these games that people play and people love. They have Minecraft, they have all these games, but
sorry, Wizard said, "Oh no, Duck Dark. There's levels to this." That's right.
It's Duck Danger. It's Duck Danger. Let's get dangerous.
Darkwing Duck, yes.
Darkwing Duck. Let's get dangerous.
No, Weezer just gave me a great idea for a video game. It's called Duck Dark, and you have to use a flash. It's be a 8-bit game, like a 16-bit, 8-bit, somewhere around there. You have to use a flashlight with one stick and aim your gun with the other stick, and then use a trigger just like old school Duck Hunt, but no lights on, and the only light you have on the screen is from a flashlight in like an 8-bit style.
God.
I think that would be pretty dang cool.
I'm not gonna lie, the ducks would kind of scare me if that's the case. I know it's an 8-bit game, but the ducks are coming out of nowhere, oh shit, where'd you come from?
No, dude, just do a 16-bit game and make it awesome. I think that would be so cool. Anyways,
it'd be like this 16-bit Jurassic Park games from the Sega Genesis.
You have to build a Temu PC. Yeah, that's. Hey, listen, we don't talk about PC over here. Lord Jesus, you're gonna wake up those morons. Holy hell. You can buy a PS5 equivalent for $700. Okay. Have a good day. Thank you.
I don't know.
I-
I don't know anybody who shops on Temu to begin with.
Listen, I've seen people do it. It's basically like Wish.com, but in another version. I don't understand it. Like, I think their shipping is a little faster. My sister-in-law buys some things from Temu, but like, it's always like, hey, we got this clothing piece from, we got this shirt, we got these pants, we got this, and like, how much you pay for that? Is $1.50. What? do they fit? 1 out of 10 times. But it was $1.50. Like that's how they get you. It was $1. Who cares?
It'll shrink in the wash after one use.
Mr. Grimm said, "I am playing on PC right now." Yeah. Also, Darkwing Duck. Hell yes. Yeah, Josh said that. Darkwing Duck. Hell yes. Like, it's
yes. Darkwing Duck
that
great.
show was awesome. By the way, there was a video game I think for the Super Nintendo for Darkwing Duck, if I'm not mistaken. I know Chippendale Rescue Rangers had one. Aladdin, Lion King, Donald Duck with Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Anyways,
did you play the remaster of Epic Mickey?
no, I didn't play the first Epic Mickey. I don't.
Okay, it's good. It's a fun little 3D platformer.
I
recommend it.
I've maybe one day I will, but the closest I got to ever playing Mickey in a video game was Kingdom Hearts. That's I just yeah. The mouse has never been like a draw for me.
I get it, but
You think it would be because man, my kid, dude, my 10-year-old when he was younger, it was Mickey Mouse Clubhouse all day long.
Oh my god.
It was the Mystery Mousecatools all day long. It was Goofy all dang day
that hot
long.
dog song.
Hot dog, hot diggity dog. We got ears, it's time for cheers. Like, yes, like all the freaking time. This is the second show, by the way, that I've sang for y'all. Just want to point that out.
Bro, when's the album drop?
When's the album drop? When I can give my lyrics to Jez and have him throw them in whatever mixer he uses. Like,
dude, Jez has to be like a DJ. He's got to moonlight as a DJ at some bar somewhere in New York somewhere.
No. Honestly, what I have determined in my brain is he is like, he's like Barney from How I Met Your Mother. We all know he has a job, but we all have no idea what the hell it is that lets him do all these videos and all.
I think he said he was a scientist. I don't know what that entails, though. Like what are you a scientist
Exactly.
of?
That's the most Barney Stinson line I've ever heard in my life. Hey, ladies, I'm a scientist. You want to help me with my rocket? Like, that's just like... anyways, God bless. Please stop. No.
Stephen Leone's like, no more singing, please. You're making my ears bleed.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no more, please. Okay, I'll start rapping. Anyways, no. Okay, guys, we have waffled on quite a bit. Here are some things that I want y'all to be left with. One, Black Friday is right around the corner. Holy crap, guys!
God.
Shop the sales. There are going to be a ton, and Game Cross is Target, yeah. Like
Target
everywhere.
2 for 1 deal. Yeah.
Oh, right now?
I don't know if it starts now because everybody's been starting their shit early. So I don't know if they started it now or if they do it like close to Black Friday. But I know some places, some local places of mine, have been doing some deals, and I look at my wallet, and my wallet just kind of gives me a sad face. It's like, no, please. Please.
So funny enough, I was gonna send. I'd found a game online at Walmart, and my wife was at Walmart today. And I was like, "Hey, can you go ahead and pick this up? It's only $20." And I was like, I had it physically, and I traded it back in, and I really want to finish the story, and I want to play it. And I was like, $20 is good. And I kid you not, she was like, "Didn't you just buy like 11 games? I think it was." I was like, "Uh huh."
Mhm.
And I was like, "You
Mhm.
know what? You're right, sweetie. Black Friday's coming up anyways. You're totally right. I don't need to buy anything else." I was like, because it was just it's a game like I've already done a first thoughts on it. I've already done all of that. It was just a game that I wanted to go
Mhm.
back and finally finish and beat. But I
Mhm.
have so much crap to play right now, and I have a system
Oh,
that I'm doing
yeah.
where I'm gonna jump back into Metaphor starting tomorrow night because I took last night off because guys, we had a shitty day yesterday, and I didn't want to bring this up earlier, but like yesterday sucked. So I didn't want to think, I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to kind of I didn't want just mind numbing. I needed something engaging. And so I needed something that was going to challenge me
Mhm.
mentally. So I played Magic the Gathering last night for like 2.5 hours. The guy who was in here at the beginning of the show, Zand, Lord of the Rings lore master, I think is his name on here. But like he was one of the guys I played with, and like did that unplugged because we had to put our dog down yesterday, and that sucked.
No,
So
yeah,
I didn't get back to my
you told
gaming
us
last
birthday,
night.
yeah.
Yeah, I told everybody in the Discord, but like I didn't get
Yeah, I'm
back to
I'm
my
sorry.
it's I was broken like about it yesterday, but like slept, woke up, realized I didn't wake up to a dog coughing. I didn't wake up to him, me getting him out of bed and letting him down on the floor and all of that stuff. So it's fine. Like he was not in good shape. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
Now, but like, anyways, I disconnected, so I didn't get to start it last night. Going back to it tomorrow night. Super excited. Gonna put another 25, 30 hours in it, and then I'm gonna head back into Darksiders War Mastered. Beat that, do a review, and then complete that cycle until I can give y'all a full-on breakdown review of Metaphor. So that's
How
everything
far are
that
you
I.
for?
I am 35 hours in, which
Okay.
the
Is like a quarter of the way through the game.
yeah, I actually would say that I am about a quarter. It's going to take me a little bit because I have to take a break and I
Mhm.
have to grind up my levels a little bit because I've been following a trophy guide so I can make sure to kind of hit everything and
Mhm.
not lose out on certain interactions with characters and things like that and make sure to get all the side characters and do all of that
Mhm.
stuff that I kind of streamlined the first couple cities and now I'm in a dungeon that I'm getting my ass kicked in. So I'm gonna have to constantly go into the dungeon, come back out of the dungeon, or not back out, but go back to the main entrance or go to a save spot, heal up, do all of that. Like it's gonna be a bit of a grind. So I probably have about 5 hours of grinding left until I can continue. Not too bad though. Anyways,
Mhm.
uh, wait a second. You beat the game in 38.8 hours and I did a ton of grinding? Really?
Who said that?
Fornitron, did you play it on Storyteller? And I'm serious. I'm not judging. I'm seriously asking. The only reason why I haven't dropped it down to Storyteller is because you can't move it back up. Huh. Anyways, guys, it's been a wonderful show tonight. It's been almost
Mhm.
3 hours. Hit that like,
Yeah.
subscribe if you haven't. Look. Oh, yep. Okay, that's why. Gotcha. I was like, you're playing in Storyteller. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Um, maybe I need to do that. That'd be fun. But
Oh, one more
oh,
thing.
he said nope. Normal. Go ahead.
Okay. PlayStation monthly games, not too bad. Hot Wheels Unleashed, not Unleashed. What was it? Hot Wheels, the second Hot Wheels racing game, and then they had Ghostwire Tokyo, and then they had what was the last one? I can't remember the last one was because I just got the Dead Space one from last month. So this month, not too bad. Not too bad if you check out the games for that.
Hmm. Yeah. He said he beat it in normal mode. Interesting. Huh.
Oh, okay.
Hell, dude, if you beat it that fast, you need to go ahead and put a review up of it. And, or put up a guide or something like, hey, here's how I beat it in 38.8 hours when most other reviewers are saying it takes 80 to 100. And I'm having this
What did
experience where it's taking me a long time to actually beat it. That'd be interesting. I want to know kind of what you did.
what did the developers say? Didn't the developers say it was like 90 to 110 hours?
I think they said something like that. I don't know. It's 11:30. I'm gonna it's
Okay.
okay, guys. It was a wonderful show tonight, guys. Have a lovely night. Yeah, rip doggo, man. I appreciate that, dude. It does suck. It does. Yeah, and Steven, I love seeing your pooch in there. But yeah, guys, y'all have a wonderful night. Thank y'all for stopping by. And
Mm-hmm.
hit that like, hit all the buttons, do all the things. Thank you to those who were so generous tonight. I can't really say thank you enough for that. And outside of that, guys, y'all know the deal.